The NFL action is in full swing here at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. We're talking touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger wins. New customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. If that's not enough, everyone can boost their winnings with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. Right now, for every leg that you add, you can boost your winnings up to 100%. With payouts bigger than ever, why bet on football anywhere else? And to make things even sweeter, you can throw down on stepped up same game parlays once per game all season long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code Jared, Jared, to get $200 in free bets if your team wins when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That is promo code Jared only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes for details. Welcome back to the Name Redacted podcast, America's most beloved podcast, the most downloaded Red Sox podcast in the world. Pete skipped, Pat skipped, Jake and Tyler are here. Jake and Tyler are here, and I know that the Red Sox won a series, so whenever we say if the Red Sox have a happy flight, we have a happy podcast. Red Sox took 2 out of 3. So it should be a happy podcast, winning a series. It's not a happy podcast for me. I'm not happy. I'm actually very sad. It's a combination of sad and angry, if we're being honest about this, for a couple of reasons. I'll tell you a little story. So Friday, this is a while in the making where we talked about this Nesson show that I'm doing. Shout out to Nesson 360. I think it debuts on September 22nd. Is what we're doing here. Was going to do this episode with Kevin Plawecki. So I was like, hey, listen, Kev, here's the plan, right? We want to tail you for a day. We want to know like what goes into the preparation. What goes into you waking up, you go to the yard, you do X, Y, and Z. I want to see those things. So he's like, you know what? Come on over to the house. Come on over. So Friday, I was like, all right, what day works for you? He's like, Friday. Friday, I'm catching Wacha. Just like I always do. Come on by the house. We'll throw some mics on. I'll take you through the whole thing. We'll ride in together. Perfect. Awesome. Love that. So I get there 12:30, do a little tour of the house. We got Kaysen, 4-year-old son, hitting moon bombs in the front yard. Crew's like, I think 1
year and a half.
Year and a half. Crew's like a year and a half. Not ready, not taking swings yet, at least on this episode. We drive in, we do the whole interview in the car, show up there, go through the routine at the yard. It's awesome. Red Sox win. It's fantastic. I think Wacha goes like 7 shut, whatever it was. Then I go from the game to the Clapton concert. So I'm trying to enjoy myself, sitting here at fucking Eric Clapton with my dad, trying to have a great night. Then I look at my phone. Well, you know what I usually do after wins? I usually will text Kevin Plawecki and I'll say, Kev, you got a sec? He'll hit me back. I'll be like, what you got? I'll be like, Kev, big win tonight. That's a big league win. We try to keep the spirits high. Even granted what the season has been, where the Red Sox are in the standings, he tries to keep it positive all the time. So I try to keep it positive all the time. So I'll hit him with hey, Kev, you got a sec? Boom. We go over our positivity for the night. We do that just as we've done for the last 2 years. About 20 minutes later, just got designated. And I was like, what? I was like, first of all, they're about to play cocaine to close out the show. And I was like, this is how we close the Eric Clapton concert here. We're about to close it with a banger. And now when I tell you, try and picture this. I'm at the Clapton concert. Everyone is standing because they know that this is the finale. I'm sitting down like my dog just died. Everyone is standing. The entire fucking arena is standing, singing this song. I'm sitting down. My dad's like, what the fuck? What's going on? You look like your girlfriend just dumped you. I'm like,
worse.
It's worse. I was like, this is way worse. Like, we're talking about a relationship that actually matters to me that has been compromised. So I'm sitting there just like trying to process what I just heard. And you try to find if you're talking to like one of your friends and he's like, hey man, like my dog just died. And it's like, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. Like you say something like that. I'm like, I don't know what to fucking say. I was like, Don't know what to say. So Kevin Plawecki gets designated for assignment, and I think a lot of people were shocked by this. A lot of people, especially in the Red Sox clubhouse, were unhappy with this. And today we saw, was it Bradford, Tyler?
Yeah, Bradford.
Bradford puts out this some quotes from Nathan Eovaldi, Rich Hill, some veteran arms. They didn't mince words here. They were like, hey, we're fucking not happy about this. We hate that this happened in the way that it did happen. Kevin, what did you think about it?
It was caught me by surprise, but it's one of those deals where unfortunately where we're at as a team, where I'm at, kind of with free agency looming. It was difficult to say the least, but the baseball business side of it, none of us want to really try and comprehend it. We'll never be able to comprehend it, but at the same time, you'll never understand it. I tried to, take it, there's nothing I could do about it, but it's just unfortunate that it had to end here the way that it did.
Yeah. Like, I think that's what it comes down to, because I mean, I've read most of the reaction on Twitter since the news broke. And of course, you've got the people tweeting at me being like, fucking grow up, dude. Like, be an adult. Like, he's the third string Red Sox catcher. I was like, who's he the personal catcher for? Who is he the personal catcher for? Because it's the two best starting pitchers on the fucking team. So I have people being like, well, I mean, if he's just a clubhouse guy, if that's what he brings to the table is he's just a clubhouse guy, it's like, he is a clubhouse guy, but he's also like, I feel like I never wanted to become this guy. Because when I first started in like 2015, and I mean started as in like actually doing it for a career instead of a hobby, that's when guys like Dan Shaughnessy and all these other guys would come at me and I would have my opinions, and then they would say, well, is he in the clubhouse? Like, is he in the clubhouse? How would he know? So I never wanted to become that guy. But that being said, as it pertains to this story specifically, I don't think that you can truly appreciate the impact that a guy like Kevin has on a team like this, and last year's team more specifically, like that team coming 2 games from a fucking World Series. I don't think that you can truly appreciate that type of impact unless you are around, unless you are talking to guys. And by the way, like, I mean, you came to Boston, I guess,
20.
like Bieber. Shane Bieber was the guy that was like, hey, by the way, Plawecki's coming to Boston. You're going to fucking love this guy. So it's not like he just like became this guy, but like he's been this guy. He's been this guy. So yeah, like I guess you have to, it's not just being a clubhouse guy, which I think we can all recognize that you were and are, but how can you, like, the job of a catcher goes beyond, like, they think like, oh, if the catcher is not hitting 300, then he sucks. Like that, your job is to catch. Your job is to be able to handle the pitching staff. And I think if you ask the guys in there, the most important guys this year have been Wacha and Nate from a starting pitching standpoint. You were their personal catcher. That's not a coincidence.
It's kind of hard to understand, but and answer at the same time. But it's just part of the job as a catcher, and it doesn't matter who I'm catching. Really, it's whoever I'm able to be in the lineup with that day and catch that day. I take pride in that, whether it be the starter or the relievers coming in after them. It's my responsibility and it's my job. It's what I get paid to do. Is to catch those guys, and I try and take that seriously. Whether we're in first place or in last place, and that's the way I've looked at it from day one since I've came here, and day one since I came into the league, and even started playing ball. So I take the job seriously, and along with that, I like to keep things light. Along with it, like you mentioned the clubhouse and all that stuff, and it's, a a lot that's been talked about lately, but it's just part of who I am as a person. And it's just, also what I learned is when I first came into the league, in 15, coming up with the Mets, we had a great clubhouse culture. I was a rookie. I had a lot of guys that I leaned on, and I didn't say much. I observed, and I watched the guys around me, and took those pieces, along with me as my career, kept going. And I was fortunate enough to land here in Boston and try and, instill that in our locker room. And we had a great group of guys around me that were able to, feed off of that and get us to kind of where we're at. I didn't go in there saying I'm going to be this guy or that guy. I just being myself at the end of the day. And, that's what I think is most important. And I appreciated every bit of my time here in Boston, and I loved every second of it, and my family did as well.
So the trade deadline comes and goes. Christian Vasquez ends up in Houston, but then you see Reese McGuire. Reese McGuire gets acquired from what? Fucking Chicago White Sox?
Jake Diekman trade.
Yeah. Okay. So then you're probably knowing like, hey, maybe the writing's on the wall here. I'm a free agent at the end of the year. We've got 3 catchers now with Connor Wong getting called up. Were you? I mean, obviously you were. You were surprised that you were not afforded, I guess, the opportunity to make it to the finish line of the 2022 season. So how did that go down? Like Red Sox win on Friday, then what?
Alex just said, come and see me in the office. And whenever you get that with the, I guess you could say the look on his face, I had a weird feeling. I didn't want, that feeling across his face, but as a professional and somebody who, I got feel. I understand the room and I understand this business. I had a tough feeling of what might be to come, and obviously it was what it was. And Alex, informed me, and Chaim and BOH and Tech were in there, and it went down the way. Obviously, they broke the news to me. It was tough. It was extremely tough on everybody's front. But at the end of the day, we know this business, and this business can be as cruel as any. But I just told them I gave them everything I had from day one, and they knew that too. It wasn't anything that they didn't know, but it was just a strict business decision that unfortunately had to be made at the time of where this team was at, and there's no hard feelings, and like I said, my time here was incredible. The run we had last year was something that me and my family remember forever, and more. So it's never tough. I mean, it's never. It's always tough, but it's never easy at the end of the day. Getting that kind of news, especially this late in the year. I wish we could have seen this through as a group. It's been a tough year, obviously. It really has. But we've been together. We stuck together through thick and thin. And being there with everybody through it all, I just wish, wish we could all seen it through together. But at the end of the day, I don't make those decisions, obviously, and you got to respect, the ones that do.
I mean, did you like you said that you could tell on like the tone of Alex's voice that it wasn't going to be good news, but was it ever in the back of your mind that this was a possibility? Like, did you think that? Did your agent, like the Levinsons, be like, hey, like this is a possibility that you might not make it to the finish line here? Or were you just completely blindsided by that?
It wasn't a complete blindside in a sense. I was playing once every 5-6 days. I was catching Wacha. I saw I saw the writing on the wall here. I was there for Connor and there for Reese, and they're unbelievable guys and unbelievable teammates and unbelievable players. And my job when I see that, when they come in, I see what the organization is doing when they bring them in and bring Connor up. Is my job now is to catch Wacha every 5th day and keep his great year going and help them as much as I possibly can, not only for this year, but I see what's happening moving forward and help them next year. That's my job now. I'm not going to sit here in the corner and pity me. That's not the kind of guy I am. I see the writing on the wall. You don't have to write it out for me. You don't have to tell me. I can see it. So it's just one of those deals where I just, you see it in front of you. You try to make, I was fine catching every fifth day, sixth day, whenever Wacha was pitching. Let's go out there with Wacha and roll with him and get a win that night. And in the meantime, help these other guys learn the staff and learn the guys and talk to them about, the other starters they're catching and trying to win as many games as we possibly can as we go on the stretch here. Granted the unfortunate season we've all, kind of had to endure.
Do you think that in today's game that not enough emphasis or value is placed on guys like you? Because in this particular, let me just go down some sort of timeline, the Kevin Plawecki timeline. The home run cart was you. The song, the theme of last year, you. Anytime that there was anytime that there was a golf trip on the road, I feel like you were in the middle of all that. And I feel like you were also a guy, and this is important because I've seen this on other teams. You were almost like the bridge between the older guys and the younger guys. You're out there golfing with Rich Hill, who's on this end of the spectrum, but you're also tight with Bob, who's on the younger end of the spectrum. I feel like you were the bridge between the veterans and the younger players, which again, there's a lot of importance in that. And some of the on base celebrations, you had to do with that too. There's just a lot, and the guys like that, having relationships with pitchers and position players. There's a lot of that on other teams where just pitchers hang out over here, position players hang out over there. And you had both in your corner, heavily in your corner.
Yeah, no, I just, like I said before, I try and be myself every day and try and bring the guys together. I've been on teams that have won. I've been on teams that have lost, and not saying the teams I've been on that have lost have been apart, but you've got to ride together, win or lose, and you got to have fun doing it regardless. And it's obviously tougher when you're losing, but it's so much more fun when you're winning. But it's important for these young guys to know, even this year, even the guys that have come up or whatever that hasn't gone our way this year, to know that you're in a city in Boston that expects you to win, one, and two, you got to know how to handle yourself when you lose and when you win, and it should be the same, and that makes it easier when you're winning and you're losing, because you're the same guy every day. And that's what I try to instill in them and what I try to be every day. And yeah, I mean, I just try and, I relate to Rich Hill more than anybody, and I relate to Bobby as well. I've been there as well. I've been struggling as a rookie and whoever it may be. I know the struggles in this game, and Rich being here forever too. I've been fortunate enough to be in this game a little bit longer as well too. And, I've gone through my hardships in this game, and I try and relate to everybody. And I think that being in that clubhouse, just trying to relate with everybody is important and brings the team together.
Yeah, I think the best way to describe it would be that if there were a Venn diagram of the Boston Red Sox and all the different groups that would exist in that clubhouse, that the centerpiece is almost Kevin Plawecki. It's just yeah, he's in this clique, he's in that clique, but he also these people, but he knows these people and he's cool with them, but he's also cool with them. What did it mean for you? Because what were you at? You practice today? What whenever that column came out, you weren't home. Did you see the stuff that Nate said and the stuff that Rich said today?
Yeah, somebody sent it to me. Yeah, somebody texted it to me, no names, on here. I saw it. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, kind of going along what Rich said, we're human beings, right? We create bonds, not only on the field, but off the field. And it's not only Rich and myself, it's everybody. But I think we're all supposed to be robots sometimes, and supposed to always say the right thing and do the right thing. And most of the times we do. And even, today with what I saw with Rich and Nate, I mean, it's just, some of my closest friends in this game, and it's nothing that they said wrong or whatever, like anything like that. It's just that was them being human for a change, and sometimes it's okay to do that, and everybody expects everybody to just be like so ABC, like station to station, and at the end of the day, Jared, you were at my house on Friday. You saw my kids going crazy around here, and stuff's not always like that. We're human beings, and we have families and friendships and everything like that, just like you guys do. And it certain things hit differently, and yeah, I mean, I saw some of the stuff today and talked to some of the guys, but yeah, I mean, it's nothing easy about any of this. It just stinks that it had to end the way it did.
Right. And the way that it ended, and I think that was kind of what was creating so much of a debate or a misunderstanding amongst some of the Red Sox fans today, was that, they were like, oh, like, we're not going to like keep a guy like on the team because of like camaraderie and things like that. It's like, it's not even about what the baseball decision is at that point. I think for me, I think that there was a way to do it where, because you mentioned a guy like Nate, he was your roommate for how many years of spring training, and you get told 20 minutes, half hour after the game, some of the guys were gone. Like some of the guys, and like, I'm sure that you'll still get your chance to say bye to whoever you want to say bye to. But on a night like that, there were guys who had already gone home who probably would have stayed had they known that news was coming down. Yeah.
It was great, given the unfortunate circumstance we were in, with me having to go. But it was the guys that were still there. It was nice. There were about 15 of us that hung out and just shot the shit for a little bit, had a few beers and laughed a little bit. And yeah, no, there was some guys that had left already, but I talked to Nate and I talked to Nate just about every day, regardless. Bogey FaceTimed me last night. We talked a little bit, and it was good to have some guys that were still there, just to be able to, kind of, talk a little bit and have that one final little, I guess, moment in the clubhouse, where we created so many memories and stuff. But hey, life goes on, man. Life goes on. It's part of this game and part of this business. And I'm not the first, and I won't be the last. So wherever I end up and wherever we go, it'll be all good. And nothing will change on my end. But I'm just happy we had that moment together in that locker room.
We interrupt this interview with Kevin Plawecki to let you know that baseball and beer go hand in hand. And Blue Moon is the perfect playoffs companion with its bold flavor, bright explosion of color, iconic orange slice ritual, and authentic ballpark roots. In fact, Blue Moon was born in a ballpark at the Sandlot Brewery in Denver, Colorado. From a playoff berth to a world championship, a Blue Moon guarantees a one-of-a-kind beer experience every single time. Jake and I had Blue Moons at the game on Tuesday. I saw some of the listeners tweeting us pictures, drinking Blue Moons at the game. We appreciate you guys supporting. Everyone knows a Blue Moon and baseball go hand in hand. And that's why they're at baseball games drinking Blue Moons. It's a match made in baseball heaven and in beer heaven, to be honest with you. Funny story. It's actually not funny. It's interesting. I'm going to the Denver brewing facility. Like, I'm actually going. Yeah, I forgot to tell you that. I'm pumped. You guys seem stunned. I'll be there. The drama of the playoffs deserves a bold, unique beer. From its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian White is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon isn't just another beer. It's a whole different ballpark experience. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something that's one of a kind? Best served with a signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful hazy color. A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Break out of your same old beer slump. Blue Moon Belgian White is one of a kind every time. Get Blue Moon Belgian White delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared to see your delivery options. That is get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter, celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado Ale. What were some of or are there any stories that you can share that were passed around on Friday night?
Oh man, it's like too many to count, really. We had a lot of guys in there. Just talking about, basically the whole year, different stories here and there. I'm not one to really talk much about what goes on outside that clubhouse. I never will be, but there's a lot of good laughs with those guys, and it's good. It was good. It was a good group of guys that we had in there.
I mean, that because I've always said this, and I think that this kind of news item made me go back to how I felt before. But the 2021 Boston Red Sox, I feel like, I feel like because Tyler and Jake, they're like fucking 24 years old. I'm 33, so they don't even remember 04. So for me as a Red Sox fan, I was a sophomore in high school in 04. So I remember all 4 championships. I would genuinely trade the 2007 title to win in 21. I would. I just like that team so much. That team felt like, hey, we're doing something this year. There's something about this team. There's something happening. You can feel it. And it started really with that wild card game, because going into that, I mean, now that we kind of get more removed from 21, I think that we'll start to forget how close that team came to not even getting in the playoffs in the first place. But once we start going in the wild card, it just felt different. And I don't know what it was. It was a younger crowd. I had talked to a few guys that were on the 18 team, and they said that 21 wild card game was louder than any of the 18 home playoff games that they played in. So there was just something different about that game in particular. What do you remember most about the 2021 wildcard game? Because you told me a couple cool stories on the way in on Friday. That game was the craziest game of my life. And like you said, we limped into that game. Honestly, we were down in DC the last game of the year, and if we lose that game, we're playing 163 against the Blue Jays. Mm-hmm. And they're hot as could be. And in Toronto, right?
I don't know where it would have been, but I don't want to say it, but I like our chances against anybody, but they were hot.
Yeah.
They were hot. And, Rafi, I think Vasquez hit that triple or double or triple to tie it or something like that. And Rafi hits that homer late. I'm sitting on the bench, not trying to run through scenarios, but knowing hey, we got to pull this thing off here, in order for 163 not to happen. And that would have been tough, because that's a win or go home. And then we win that, and then we got another win or go home. But yeah, that wild card game was extremely special in a lot of ways, and the loudest I've ever experienced a park in my entire life. Even Nate and I knew what pitch we were going to throw to Rizzo to start the game off, and you saw him step off the mound, and I'm like, what are we doing? We knew we were going to start the game off with, mm-hmm. And look at the replay, you've seen it. But it was special, man. That the fans in Boston that night were incredible. You could even arguably say the Yankees fans were incredible as well that were there. Because the environment was just everything you want and more in a Yankees Red Sox wildcard game, winner take home, type of game. And we got on a roll from there. That game kind of sprung us into a mode that got us on a roll, and unfortunately came up 2 games short from going to the World Series. But we had a heck of a run out of it.
Yeah, that was Laz Diaz. Fucked us. Absolutely fucked us. And Nate,
I don't have any comment.
I said it the other day, and I've said it on this podcast 1,000 times. Nate had strike 3. Laz Diaz blew the call. The Astros go on to score whatever it was, 7 fucking runs in the 9th inning. If he just calls that a strike, the Red Sox go into the bottom of the 9th, tied. Let's just say they win that game because, you're at home in a tie game in the bottom of the 9th. I like our chances. The Red Sox in 2021 do not blow a 3-1 lead to the Houston Astros. They just don't. I don't think that happens. So we got fucked. That because now I'm like trading like championship like to that. I shouldn't have to make the trade. That should have been number 5 for me. That should have been number 5. I'm never gonna live that down. That year, just like when I think back on that season, it's this weird feeling of like. I try to. This is a weird comparison. I don't know if the listeners are gonna relate to this at all. But like this tattoo's not finished, and I feel incomplete because it's like this is supposed to. It drives me nuts that half of it is done and half of it's not. Like I feel incomplete as a person. When I think about the 2021 season, I feel incomplete as a person because it's an unfinished tattoo. It's like it's supposed to end in a championship and it didn't, and we can't go back in time to fix it. That's how I feel about that fucking season, Kev.
I'm sorry, Jared. I wish we can go back in time too. Trust me, I wish we could. I'm sorry.
It'd be great. You hit the double off of Garrett Cole. That's one of those moments of adrenaline rush where I feel like you maybe don't have any memory of standing out at second base at all. Is that true or untrue?
I blacked out. Yeah, I blacked out. It's a blackout moment.
Yeah. So you don't remember, like, do you remember like what kind of pitch it was? Like anything about the at bat?
Yeah, no, I know I was 2 strikes on me. He's throwing 100. I'm trying to get my foot down and hit a ball over the wall, over the monster. Honestly, I'm trying to pull it. Mm-hmm. I was late and hit it to right center, mm-hmm. but hit it good, obviously. And then you can see me afterwards. I'm sliding into second base, and my hand clap is like I do like one clap, and like I kind of missed my hands on the second one. And looking back, I'm like, that didn't work out well, but
no.
Yeah, that was a blackout moment for sure. 100%.
Yeah. What do you remember most about that postseason run?
It's gonna hurt you for me to say this, but the feeling of like we weren't gonna lose, like we couldn't lose. We had that vibe going at an all-time high, and that's but that's what you need in those times, right? Yeah, the Astros probably felt the same way. They weren't going to lose either, So our vibes were at an all-time high. The team was at an all-time high. Win or lose, game 1, whatever, we're fine. We're gonna win the series, and we're gonna go all the way, So that's what I remember the most. The guys, just the positivity in the group. Win or lose, it was like we knew we were the better team, but you get to that point in the year, everybody thinks that way, and that's just part of the game,
I mean, I've blown you a lot in this interview, but I feel like that you mentioned like the guys that are in the room last year, like how important are guys? I mean, obviously, like Schwarber's going to hit fucking 40 homers this year, but just having guys like that, like Schwarber, and then like a guy like Nate, who's an absolute workhorse, just dominate the peloton when he's not on the bump every 5th day. Like how important really are those guys?
No, they're what you need to win.
And Renfroe too. Like I feel like Renfroe is quiet as fuck, like to the media, but I feel like his teammates in Boston know a different Hunter Renfroe.
Yeah, I mean he hit 30 homers too, 30 plus, yeah. Right? I mean it's not quiet. You know that as a guy that's around him every day, when he's up, he can change the score or any at bat. And he did a lot of times, and those guys were extremely special to the run we went on for sure, without question. I mean, and not only what they brought on the field, but off of it in the locker room. We keep talking about that, but it's just they're special dudes, and there's reasons why the teams that they're on right now are winning for sure.
As a guy that was catching Nathan Eovaldi, what makes him so special? Because I think he kind of just came out of nowhere like that. He came over in the trade deadline in 2018, and I think it wasn't met with much fanfare. I don't believe it was on deadline day. I think it was a Dabrowski move that was kind of in advance of the deadline. So it wasn't like deadline day, like boom, Nathan Eovaldi's coming to Boston. And everyone was like, fuck yeah. But then over the course of the postseason, everyone was like, holy shit, like this guy is an absolute stud. And then he goes out in 21 and has one of his best seasons of his career. It might have been, correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler. He's a stat guy here. That was his best statistical season, right? 21?
Oh, yeah, by far. I think he led all the American League in FIP. He was fourth in Cy Young Award voting. Like, Jesus. This was everything Nate Eovaldi was supposed to be.
Yeah. So Nate comes over and you get a front row seat in 21. Like, what made him so special that season besides like staying healthy?
His ability to locate pitches is honestly incredible. With 5 different pitches is special. He's a workhorse too off the field. It doesn't just show up when he's on the mound. Like, he puts so much preparation into his craft leading up to it, in the weight room and his routine leading up to the start days. And it don't just show up every 5th day, but he's one of the special ones to where even Wacha too. I'll just chime in with Wacha as well. These guys, we'll talk in between innings how we're going to attack the first 3 hitters of that inning, every inning that they're pitching. And it's like fastball up and in, fastball down and away, and in curveball, boom, strikeout, cutter up and in, splitter down and away, fastball down and away, boom, strikeout, or, whatever. They have the ability to hit their spots and us be on that same page going into that inning. And when you get on a roll like that, and maybe the first guy swings the first pitch, he throws, and then we roll into the next guy. It's okay. We're starting him off with the slider, and we're going up fastball in, and then splitter off of that. And we stick with it. Strike 1, ball 1, whatever. We stick to the same plan, and they're able to execute. Honestly, it's one of those things that it's pretty impressive that those guys are able to do, and makes them so special. And a lot of people don't even realize that we have basically scripted the first 3 to 4 guys, not any particular way of pitching them, but how we're going to approach them and get them out. And most times it's executed to perfection.
Is he the guy that throughout your entire career that you've felt the most in sync with?
I can't say that because I've caught a lot of great guys. I can't say that Bieber, and Clev and DeGrom and Wheels and Syndergaard, Harvey. I can go on and on with those guys, man, because I've been honestly truly blessed to catch a lot of great arms in this league. And I'm not saying that any of those guys couldn't do the same thing. We just kind of, I don't want to say winged it, but nobody really kind of sat down the way that we did with Evo and with Walk and those guys to kind of script out the first 3 hitters or 4 hitters of that inning. Maybe it was the time of day and age, I guess you could say, back when I was with those guys, it was just kind of like, we had a report, we went with it. We kind of went on the fly, read swings, went with their strengths, yada, yada. But, those guys are, Nate and Wacha, especially, we sit down and we talk how we're going to attack them. And fortunate for me that those guys know where those balls are going. And I can't say those other guys couldn't have done the same thing because they easily could have, but that makes things click and roll for sure.
Yeah. I'm not going to, it's not necessarily throw him under the bus. I'm not going to completely divulge what Wacha said, but he is very, very fond of you. He's a big time Kevin Plawecki guy, which is cool. I mean, like that must make you feel good to know that like this guy has been the best pitcher on the Red Sox staff this year. And if you were to ask him like, hey, Like, who's the guy that you prefer to work with? And you're the answer to that question on a team that has a rare 3-catcher combo. Like, you don't see 3 catchers on a roster, and the best starting pitcher would choose you. Like, is that something that you kind of like you come to a team here with Christian Vasquez is already on the team. Like, you know that that's the guy. So like day one, you know that you're not necessarily competing for the starting job. You know that that's the guy. I've got to make myself, valuable in other ways. So I guess what goes into the relationship building where you eventually become the personal catcher for someone? In this case, 2 different starters.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I never looked at it as like, I want to be this guy's guy. Like, it's never, it evolves maybe into that, I guess. But I try and catch everybody the same, like whether it's Nick or it's Wacha or it's Evo or it's Rich.
Well, not to cut you off, but say in the case of Nate, right? Like, that became a thing where you were his personal catcher. Is that something where the team sees that Nate performs better with you? Is that something where Nate goes to AC and says like, hey, when it's bump day, I want Plawecki back there? Like, how does that come about?
I won't get into that, but I think it's just about me focusing on the guy that I have on the mound that day, whether, like I said, whoever it is, whether it's Nate or whoever. And I think you build that relationship and bond, together. And I'm trying to catch a winner every night. It don't matter. I don't care if I'd rather go 0 for 4 every night and catch a winner than go 4 for 4 and catch a loser. I don't care. I don't want that. Like, I'm better off and I sleep better at night if we win a game, because I know I can control it with the I guess now the buttons I'm pushing. But I sleep better at night knowing that I caught a winner than if I get 4 or 5 hits a night and we lose. I don't like that. So to answer your question, I don't really know how it all transpires. The pitchers, are particular in certain ways, but I don't know if it has a huge, factor at the end of the day. I just try and treat everybody, try and get the best out of every single one of them every night.
Mm-hmm. Tyler?
So, Kevin, earlier you kind of mentioned looking at Schwarber and looking at Renfroe and seeing, why their teams have been so successful this year. When you compare the 2022 Red Sox to the 2021 Red Sox, obviously there's a lot of different things that haven't gone your guys' way this year. Do you sit there and say, like, if those voices were still here, it'd be different? Like, do you guys view that? Is that the sentiment amongst that veteran leadership?
It's not like we're sitting there after a loss and we would have been different if so-and-so were here or whatnot. By any means, at the end of the day, that locker room was built to be the locker room it was, and we gotta come together as a group and be better, and win those games that, maybe we have lost, but we all know the type of players that Schwarber and Renfroe are, but they're not here. That's the reality of it. So we got the locker room we have, and we're more than capable of winning the games, in that locker room with the guys we got. And unfortunately, we weren't able to do that as much as we wanted to this year. And we put us in the spot that we were in, and that's nobody. We can't second guess that. We were more than capable of winning games this year for sure.
When you guys ended up getting to the trade deadline this year, and you guys had ran, some of the ups, some of the lows, obviously tough start to the year, and then May and June, it feels like you got some of that 2021 magic, and then all the injuries come together. Did you feel after the deadline, even with Vasquez being on the way out, but still keeping JD and Eovaldi, and it felt like while some of the team was still sad to see Vasquez go, there was some happiness that a lot of the main guys were still around. Did you feel at that time like there was still a lot left in that year for you guys? Like, you guys had that chance to still make the kind of run you were hoping for that whole time?
100%, right? We're not, nobody in that locker room is like, oh, we're cashing it in. Even right now, what are we or I can't say we, are they?
You can still say we. Those checks still clear.
Are we mathematically eliminated? Nobody's taking 8 days off, it will never, until the last game of the year, we're trying to win every one of them, no matter who's in the locker room. Obviously, Christian getting traded and everything was, I guess, that time of year is weird, because you don't know, like, is that a trickle down effect to others? Is it, like, where are we leading? Like, where are we going here? And then nothing else really happened. So now it's like, okay, put on the cleats and let's roll. And we were still in it. We were 2 games out of the wild card, I think, at that point, and we were still at a legitimate shot of making the postseason. But at the end of the day, we're everybody's still lacing them up and going out there and trying to get as many wins as possible. And unfortunately, it just hasn't added up to where any of us really wanted to go.
Was it like the same as did the players feel the same way that the fans did, in the sense that it was such a roller coaster with, hey, we can still do this. Ah, fuck, we're out of it. But wait, we can still do this. But I think we're pretty much cooked now. But I think, if we get some steam here, but now we're toast. Like, was it like that inside the clubhouse? Because I know that especially a guy like you is going to be like, hey, like, let's show up. Let's go 1-0 today and see what happens and continue to do that. But there were multiple points over the course of this season alone where it felt like, all right, we're back. Season's fucking done. But then we're back again. But now we're fucked. Like, was that something that crossed your mind or anyone else's mind in there?
I think it's probably natural for anybody to think that way, in a sense, but not to the point where people are showing up saying we're cashing it in. That'll never be the case, especially here and the way the guys carry themselves. But you just got to take it one game at a time. You have certain series and certain, you get into a spot and you realize the guys that are in front of you team wise that you need to beat / basically sweep in order to stay in it and make things interesting. And then when it don't go that way, it's just, you're never like, oh, it's done. I'd say more of like, it's a deflating feeling, but you show up the next day and you go to work and you try and get another W and keep pushing forward. It's just been a constant kind of roller coaster ride of a year for sure.
Yeah. There's just so many points over the course of this year where I was like, fuck, like it's done. But then I'd be like, but wait, like there's a chance. And I feel like, we pretty much kept going back and forth. We kept going back and forth all year. It was so weird because like even it predates you going back to 2012, like these last play. This will be the 5th last place season since 2012. But this season, this is not a last place team. This is like a 3rd place team, but you're going to end up finishing in last place. It doesn't feel like a last place team. It just feels like all year we've been stuck in purgatory where you can't get it going. It was never a complete nosedive to where it was like an embarrassment or like what the fuck is going on. But it was like, all right, we can get going, but now we can't. How frustrating is that, knowing that there were so many, I guess, pieces from the team last year, a team that came within a couple victories of the World Series, and to have the team just kind of like sputter this year? Like, I don't. Try to explain that for me.
That's the most frustrating part about this year, and it's not even about the guys that were here last year that aren't this year. It's the fact that in just about every loss we've had, you could arguably say we could have won. You know, and that's the most frustrating.
Except
part.
for 28-5.
That one was tough. Yeah,
that was
tough. Try catching that one. Yeah, no, I mean, just about every game has been, one hit there, one timely hit there, one, two hit, hit there for the other team. It's just that's the frustrating part about the way this year's gone. It's just been, kind of, I think I seen AC say the other night, it's just been like one step short, like one little thing shy basically all year. And it's like, oh, tides will turn. It's like, fuck, before you know it, it's like you can only see it so long before, you just, not that it's anybody's fault, but it's just the way baseball goes sometimes, and it's the way some years go. And Yeah, the most frustrating part about this year is that we were in just about every loss that we had, whether it be 1-run, 2-run, 3-run. It was late inning, whatever. It's nobody's fault. It's just the way baseball goes. Sometimes that's the frustrating part about the way that this season has gone. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and on the ride in on Friday, I asked you because I was genuinely curious. I don't even think I didn't care if it made the show or not. But I asked you about like you being so positive all the time, like every day, upbeat, positive, like not mailing it in. And there was no phoniness to it either, which was interesting. Like there's some, like I remember, I'm not going to name any names, but in years past, I've talked to guys during tough seasons and like they've got to fake it. And you can tell that they don't actually mean it. You were just upbeat every single day. And that goes back to a very tough 2020. Like that fucking team sucked. So where did that come from? Because I asked you, like, have you always been this way? And you said no. Like, I feel like people that are super upbeat and positive, that's just in their DNA. That's who they are. That's who they've always been. That's a very tough skill to learn, especially later in life. So where did that come from? Why did you make that transition to just being this upbeat guy, no matter what the circumstances? Because, I mean, in 3 years in Boston, 2 of them were pretty shitty for this team.
Yeah, no. Yeah, like I told you the other day, it wasn't always like that. Like I said, in New York, coming up as a rookie, playing in that city, it'll teach you a lot, and it'll teach you a lot quick. And it'll also make you check yourself quick. And not only on the field, but mentally, mentally, I wasn't not in a good spot when I was in New York. My first couple years, I got traded out of there, obviously going into the 19 season and going to Cleveland, and I got a whole new perspective, and I made it a point to myself to literally just have fun, just have fun. It was like almost like a fresh start. Not that New York was unbelievable to me. The Mets were unbelievable to me. They gave me a chance to when they drafted me, gave me a chance to start my career in the major leagues that I'll never forget. But it was almost like a fresh start for me going to Cleveland. And I made it a point to just, have fun every day, because honestly, after 2 years with the Mets, I thought it might've ended. Honestly, I thought that might've been it. And somehow, some way I hung on, was still there, got traded. And I just was like, let's just have fun with it, 'cause it could end tomorrow. And, had fun there, created a great culture with those guys, great friendships with those guys there. And then I was like, I'll never go to a big market team again. I want to be in Cleveland for the rest of my life. Like, I wanted to be there forever.
Only person to ever say that.
And then right. And then I go, and then I get, non-tendered, and I was like, okay, this is great. This is not what I had in mind. And then I was like, here I am saying I'll never go to a big market team again. And I was like, I'll sign with Boston. This would be great. So I go to Boston, but I had a different mindset in me going into it. I'd been in a big market before in New York. It was nothing I couldn't handle. I knew what to, not listen to, yada, yada. It was, it's just like one of those deals where it's like, I got to put on this Red Sox uniform every day, play for this city, a city that's done so well. And I just came into it with a much better head on my shoulders and an understanding of this game and where I was at in my life. And I had my son was not even was a year old at the time, and gave me a whole different perspective as well in life. And was able to just kind of take that and just be myself, be myself. Wasn't about wins or losses, but it obviously translated in the locker room. I had a bigger purpose, and I knew Boston was a place I was supposed to be. And yeah, so that's kind of where it came from. But it was never always easy for me mentally to be the kind of guy I am now. I'll be completely honest. There was days in New York where I was miserable. I didn't even want to go to the stadium. And, and that I'm sure a lot of guys around the league feel the same way sometimes, but it's just, I had to look myself in the mirror and realize how lucky I am to just play this game for a living. And I got a bigger purpose now, with my family, my kids, and win, lose, like I said before, 4 hits, no hits, it's bigger than that. But I just want to help people around me. And I feel like, hopefully I've done that here in Boston, and that means a lot.
I mean, it's obviously it's bittersweet, but how much does it mean to you that like Taylor and Kaysen and crew got to see your last game at Fenway?
Yeah, no, it's godsend really. Taylor tried to find a babysitter the other night on Friday to come to the game alone and hang out with the girls and just kind of hang out. Our babysitter here was busy that night, and she brought the boys. A lot of things were wild that night, honestly. Just godsend in a way, like I said, with them coming there, being able to be there early. Kaysen always wants me to wave at him, and when I come out, and I do, but he never sees me. But that night, he actually saw me, wave to him. So that's special, and like I said, it's just weird the way this game works and God works, and I'm happy that they were there, for that night, given the unfortunate, the last game, I guess you could say that I caught, at Fenway. So,
and I mean, you were mic'd up and we basically documented your last day. you were mic'd up and on camera for your entire, I'm sorry that you had to, your last drive to Fenway Park had to be with me. I apologize for that.
Hey, we were 1-0 with you in my car, bro. So, hey, maybe that's something, but hey, I need you to still make that film and send it to me off the record so that we can show the boys one day,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So we all have it.
Yeah. We'll get you that, all the footage. We will put it on like a DVD or whatever you kids use these days, Blu-ray. So you can DVD, have that.
Bro, I'm your age, Jared. Come on.
You're like a couple years younger than me, right? You're what, 31?
31. Yeah.
Yeah. You were a freshman when I was a junior. When I was like in prom court, you were like a nerd getting shoved into lockers your freshman year.
That would never happen to me. I wouldn't allow it.
No. What's like the one thing that you'll take away from your time in Boston?
Man, everything like the drive in every day, just showing up to Fenway is going to be special, and I guess the main thing is my kids being able to have been. My son Crew wasn't born yet in 20, so he wasn't born. My wife stayed home during that 20 season. It was weird. We signed here before 20, and so we were all ready to go, into the Boston Mania. Moved downtown, did the whole thing. Kaysen was a year and a half at the time, and I think just having them be able to kind of grow up and Crew have been born, and my wife have been here with me for the last couple of years. And my boys to have been around the clubhouse in that stadium. Kaysen's doing snow angels on home plate, and I'm like, dude, you have no idea where you're doing these at. You're not just some Joe Schmo ballpark here, But one day he'll understand. But I think I'll be able to appreciate the fact that my family was able to, play here. I was able to play here, and my kids were able to have some great moments here, whether they remember them or not.
Do you feel like, obviously it's still new and raw, like receiving the news of everything, but do you feel like you have closure because your family was there that night and because of whoever was still in the clubhouse that night, that you it wasn't like, hey, you're out of here, see the fuck later. It was like, all right, you're one of those guys that everyone would stay to hang around for. Like that doesn't happen for everybody. So I guess parts of the way that it happened on Friday, do you feel like you have closure, or is there still like a feeling of I need a little bit more?
There's closure for sure. There's certain guys that unfortunately weren't able to be there, and I wasn't able to see that suck. But it's not their fault. It's just an excuse for them to come see me in Arizona this offseason. So there's definitely closure there, and the guys that stayed there that night it was unbelievable. Tommy, our clubhouse guy, took a photo of all of us hanging out together. So that's one that we'll all have together. But yeah, It hasn't set in. I haven't been able. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been able to watch a game since the other night. I haven't watched. I just haven't had a I got too much heart in it still to watch the boys. I checked the box score, at the end of the game, but I haven't been able to tune in and watch the guys. Thank God for college and NFL football this weekend to keep me kind of busy on that end. I wish nothing but the best for the boys and everybody that stays here. And it's been special for sure. It's been special. It's a special place to play. And like I said before, I just really hate that had to end the way that it did.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people echo that same sentiment. Kev, we've taken up an hour of your time. I don't want to take up your whole night over there. So I guess one last question would be, what do you what message would you like to leave with Red Sox fans who had the pleasure to watch you over the last 3 seasons?
Yeah, man, like he said before, like I'm just a backup guy. I'm a backup quote unquote catcher, right? And I'm not not supposed to be anybody, and I'm not trying to be anybody but myself. And sometimes go overlooked, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, I just want everybody to know I gave everything I got, and I enjoyed the heck out of playing for the Red Sox, and I wish I could have finished my career here. I really do, but this game goes on. I'll go on, and I hope to come back at some point and be able to hang out with the Red Sox faithful, and I can't thank everybody enough for their support and love for me. For honestly, so many people love for them to love a backup catcher and a song and some stupid home run cart ride. The way they did for me, man. It was never my intention to get that kind of attention, any of that. So I just try to make things fun. But I hope everybody appreciated everything that we did together as a group, and I'll miss everybody for sure.
Well, speaking of which, did you see that after the Red Sox won today that they played Dancing on My Own in the clubhouse after the win?
Yeah, Jeremiah sent me a text of that, and I had to text Arroyo to confirm that, and he said absolutely. So I saw that. The boys got my back. Yeah, it means a lot.
Love that. All right, Kev. This is you won't be hearing. This is not the end of our friendship. I will still be bugging you on the reg. We'll still be checking in. We'll still be boys. And thanks for everything. Hey, you know what? Thanks for always being good to me. Because you know what? Not everyone fucking is. So we appreciate you for being a real one.
Because they can't handle you, bro. They can't handle you. They can't handle you being a real one. And nobody's got a sense. Nobody's got a sense of humor anymore. Nobody.
They don't.
Nobody.
They really don't.
Keep being you. All right. Keep being you. And fuck everybody.
I love that. All right, Kev. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
We'll talk to you.
Cheers, boys. Thank you.
Later. All right. Big thanks to Kevin Plawecki for making the time. It's unfortunate circumstances to be making your name redacted podcast debut. But I've said it before. I just don't like bugging guys during the season where the Red Sox suck. We didn't have like a video platform for 85% of the season. And then by the time we got it, it's like the Red Sox are still in last place and probably not going to make the playoffs. And then it became definitely not making the playoffs. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but we've had guys like cancel the Nesson show because it's like, we get it. Like, you don't want to do fun stuff when it's not very fun on the field. I totally level with that and I get it. And that same thing applies to the podcast because I've seen people be like, oh, we're the guests this year. Well, they never got off the ground. They had June. That was it. But yeah, it was good to get Plawecki on here. I've always wanted to have him on, but it just never felt like the right time. And unfortunately, the quote unquote right time happened to be after getting designated for assignment. So I wanted to make sure we got some of the good stuff in there. The good times. 2021. That's probably one of my favorite Red Sox teams ever. Like what I said in the interview, is very much true. Like, I'm not just blowing smoke. Like, I would trade 07 for 21. I would. And I know that's Tyler's favorite fucking World Series. All right. Oh, we fucking love the 07 Red Sox.
Sorry, I'm 24 years old, and that was the first championship I actually got to enjoy in my life. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry,
it's sentimental to you.
Yes,
but I get that.
A lot of people. I think there's a lot of people that scream that 07's underrated.
07, I think it's properly rated. It was a boring year. It was a boring championship. I feel like having 4, if that was the only, like, I think we would remember it much differently if it was they won in 04 and then 07 and that was it. You'd be like, yeah, we fucking love 07. Like, yeah, remember the JD Drew fucking grand slam, and you had the Manny hands in the air, and then you had Beckett shoving up the Rockies' ass in game 1. You had Pedroia leadoff home run. Like, I remember a lot of things about that year. The Coco Crisp catch to clinch the pennant to go to the World Series. No one ever talks about that catch. It was fucking, he almost shattered his whole leg doing that.
And helped off at the end. But I agree. Like,
I would still trade it. I would still trade it. I mean, the Schwarber grand slam, like, come on. Like that. Kike becoming, what were they calling him? Little Poppy.
408 in the postseason that year. Like, I look at 2021 and, like, when I truthfully mean it, it is it is probably the most fun outside of a championship year I've ever had. 07 sticks with me. Like, I think a lot of people who ever go through that first postseason when they're watching a team or whatever, where every postseason run, you're sitting there sweating the first time, where you're like, you don't even know what it feels like to sweat. That's always going to stick with you. And listen, Dustin Pedroia is my favorite player of all time. Like, all my posts and stuff still reflect that 07 team and all that different stuff. But that 2021 team, I thought when you were talking to Plawecki and saying, like, just the feeling, how those guys felt when they thought they were going to win the World Series, I think the whole fan base felt like that, where it was like, oh crap, like, this is the wave. We felt this so many times, whether it was 2013, 2018, or 07. It'd been a long time since we got this deep and it didn't go your way, or it didn't end in the way you wanted. And that's the tough part. And to have Dancing on My Own and that other stuff, I'm still tweeting out Dancing on My Own clips on Twitter, like, regularly. Those are one of the few things I look to when I'm getting through the season and I'm depressed or whatever it is. There's not a lot of times you see a group come together like that and actually really care about each other. And I think just listen to Plawecki talk and how he mentioned Schwarber and how he mentioned Renfroe and what these guys meant to him. How he speaks about Nate and Wacha in a game today where, you know, analytics are part of the reason, you know, players aren't viewed the same way, but just that brotherhood, I think, across sports is a little different than it used to be 10 or 15 years ago. He screams it in every way. And it's just like listening to him adds that human element of baseball that, you know, pulls at the heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah. And I wanted to make sure that point was known. Because I saw a lot of this on Twitter. People be like, you know, oh, like, should have happened sooner. And this is like just, I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to not come off as a pussy here. Like, I'm trying to come off and just be honest. I'm being honest and candid. Here's the crux of how I feel about this, right? So I started my blog when I was 16 years old. I was in high school. I'm just a Red Sox fan. I grew up doing this and it became a job in my career, but I've never changed who I am. I cover the team in a way where I let you know I am a fan of the team. And because of the listeners of this show, the readers of my blog from when I was in high school, I got put in a position to where I became a person that Red Sox fans turn to for reaction during times of wins, losses, stories, whatever. And I'm very thankful for that. But what I won't apologize for is that I am still a fan of this fucking team. Like, I'm 33 now, but 16-year-old Jared that started that website is still right here. So because of my career, my hobby, my passion becoming my career, I got put in a position to where now I have press passes. Okay, cool. What does that mean? Well, now I can go in the dugout. Well, what does that mean? Well, now I can meet these people. And now because it's 15 years later, I'm either the same age as, or in Kevin's case, older than these guys. So then we do become friendly. And I try to explain that to players being like, yeah, this person, that person, that's journalism. What I do is more entertainment. Like, think about it. And I don't even know, there's no real comparison for what this show is or what I see myself as in media wise, because I don't try to break news. Like, I try to, the example that I always use with players that don't quite understand what I am and what I do is I'm like, hey, did you watch Breaking Bad? I actually just had this conversation with Tanner Houck at Matt Barnes' charity event, which was Thursday, the off day. I explained this to Tanner Houck. I was like, because he was talking to me about his back surgery and I wanted to make him feel comfortable talking to me, knowing that like, this isn't going anywhere. Like, you don't have to say, hey, is this off the record? Like, I'm not one of those guys. Like, you can talk to me and like, I'll take the information to like form opinions later. But I'm not going to like take this information and like report it and be like sources, but like, that's not what I do. So I was like, hey, have you seen Breaking Bad? Well, when Breaking Bad aired on AMC, they would do Breaking Bad and then they would do Talking Bad after. And it's not like fucking CNN where they're breaking it down like a newsy way. It's a talk show after the show. That's what Section 10 was. That's what Name Redacted is. We are the talk show after the game. So I get that people will be like, oh, you're trying to protect your connections with the Red Sox by kissing ass and being buddy. Connections for what? Like, I don't break news. But there are reporters out there who their sources are their currency. Without their sources, what do they have? What are they? You can't say that to me. If I never break another story forever, I'm still me. And people don't come to me for breaking news. They come to me because I'm a Red Sox fan. I love the Red Sox. And you know that I am going through the same emotions that you are. You're a Red Sox fan. You're pissed when they lose. You're happy when they win. So when you come listen to the show, you're like, you know what? Why would I go read the Boston Globe and read a column from someone that went to journalism school and was trained to not actually give a fuck about what they're talking about? Or I could listen to this podcast and know that this guy's going to be pissed off because the Red Sox lost. I'm pissed off. Let's be pissed off together. Well, the Red Sox just won a big game. Let's go fucking celebrate together with these guys. So that's the difference. So I get it. Like, when I read stuff on Twitter and I tweet, because I knew in the interview, I knew from Kevin, he texted me, just got designated. Did I break the fucking news? No.
Nope.
I tweeted, the business of baseball sucks sometimes. That's what I tweeted. And then I got fucking Chris Castillo texting me, what's this about? Who is this? And I didn't answer. Dude, you do your fucking job. You go find out what that tweet's about. And then he broke it 2 hours later. Sources, Kevin Plawecki designated for assignment. That's fine. That's his job. He is a journalist for the Mexican Times. I'm not a journalist. I'm a fan that is very fortunate to have a platform that I don't take for granted. So when we do these shows and I'm telling you these things, I will slide in information where I can because I'm learning things from being around the team, being in the dugout, hearing things from certain people. So when you're freaking out about Xander Bogaerts, I'm not going to be like, sources, this person said this, connected. Like, no, but I'll say, I feel pretty good about his chances about coming back. If I feel pretty good about it, it's because I'm fucking hearing that from certain people. So yes, I'm connected in a way where I can deliver news, but I'm not going to do it in the traditional way. And I feel like guys like that appreciate it. And excuse me for being upset when a quote unquote third string catcher gets designated for assignment. That's my fucking friend. Like when I'm not on the team, he's not in the media, but we're around each other a lot. And I think why guys on the team will talk to me is because they know that I care about the result as much as they do, as much as the players do. Like, they want to go out there and perform and win. I want them to go out there to perform and win. And I'm not going to do anything to harm them. If anything, I'm going to do things to build them up, to make them look better, to make them feel more confident. So it's like same team, different company, but same goal. And here we go. So not only like I tried to like someone was actually making fun of me on Friday for how like upset I was about this. And I was like, put it this way. What if you worked with your best friend? Like you guys worked together at the same place and then they got fired. And not only did they get fired, but they have to move too. So like not only will you not be seeing each other at work anymore, but you can't even hang out outside of work anymore. So that's what this one feels like to me. And it's going to feel the same way when JD doesn't come back. So I think like I'm trying to put the listener in my position here by being open about, yes, like that's why in journalism school, you know, you're just supposed to be fucking straight and narrow. I don't care about the end result. I don't care if the Red Sox win or lose. Like, I don't care if this person goes 3 for 5 or if they go 0 for 5. Like, we're just going to tell the story and no feelings attached. Well, fuck that. That's not how I get down. I get emotionally invested. I feel like that is like a superpower to have, that I care as much as the listener cares, as much as people on Twitter that follow me care. I care that much, if not more. So yeah, that's what this whole Kevin Plawecki situation boils down to for me is, yes, I'm rooting for the Red Sox. I rooted extra hard for Plawecki because I know the guy. I know the guy behind the Boston Red Sox catcher, and he's not going to be here anymore. So like, I'm sad about that. And I'm not going to apologize for being sad about that. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that gives people perspective before they tweet me being like, dude, like, of course they're going to fucking release. Like, he wasn't going to be on the team next year. Like, who fucking cares? He's a fucking Thursday trick. Who cares? You just trying to keep him on the team because he's a clubhouse guy? I'm not saying that your reasons are wrong, but allow me a second to be upset about this. Because like, I am in a different position from a fan standpoint than I would say most Red Sox fans. Like, I'm very fucking lucky. Like, I'm very fucking lucky that I grew up just this obsessed, passionate Red Sox fan. But then you get put in a position where now it's your job, and now you're able to know these guys on a personal level. So that's where, you know, the same reason that the players in there are like, what the fuck, and they're upset. That's what I'm feeling too. And I think it makes sense. Like, when you, like, there's certain guys that you just gravitate towards. And I would say in all my years of doing this, Kevin might be the closest. He might be, I would say. Yeah. Like there's a lot of like loose connections, but like, yeah, like that was probably like the tightest that I ever got with one of the players, for sure. So I get all the baseball reasons why. I do.
I even think with the baseball reasons, like what people don't take into account, and I think it was Will Middlebrooks talking on postgame today, just talking about what the backup catcher usually is for a team. And it just brought me back to like the David Ross days a little bit. It's like, these guys are like the glue of a lot of clubhouses in that way. And I think when you look at everything here, is the idea of Kevin Plawecki being DFA'd in a vacuum like crazy? No, we understand. Connor Wong and Reese McGuire need time. I've talked about it over, the last, really after the deadline. I feel like there was the Plawecki DFA conversation, and then it kind of went away as the team went up and down a little bit. But what you're seeing, this frustration from people, yes, they love Kevin Plawecki. I don't think it's really about him in general. I really don't. I think the reason you heard even Plawecki, when he just talked to us, bring up Renfroe and Schwarber in the way he did and saying, hey, those teams are where they are for a reason. There's something in there. You know what I mean? There's a substance to that. Nate Eovaldi, don't get it twisted, man. He was sending shots at Chaim with what he said, this morning or last night or whatever it was. This team, for better or worse, and you can argue it one way, hey, has Nate Eovaldi underperformed and been injured this year? Yup. Has JD Martinez? Yup. Has Rich Hill have a 4.70 ERA? He does. There's been a belief going back to last year amongst this group that veterans aren't valued or respected in the way they should. There's some kind of disconnect there for whatever reason. It faded because of the postseason last year. It went away, and that talk started to stop. Schwarber and Renfroe, guys that were important in that clubhouse, that was missed. And I give credit to Kevin Plawecki. He's not going to dish blame or go out and say, oh, well, we sucked because we didn't have them. Of course not. I had to ask the question because I just wanted to hear the response on it. But I think that's just what you hear leaking out at this point. And I don't think it's surprising the guys it's coming from. Eovaldi. What did Nate Eovaldi tell everyone 2 weeks ago? The Red Sox haven't reached out to me. They haven't talked to me about an extension. JD Martinez, another guy who asked in spring training, I'd love to be here. I hope we can get something done. Nothing happened. Anybody like Kevin Plawecki can see the writing on the wall. So can these guys. Rich Hill, someone else who's just not going to be here in a year. I think that's where the frustration is. You can say, all right, Kevin Plawecki in a vacuum, did it really make sense for him being on the roster? Probably not at this point. But the veteran group feeling underappreciated or not respected, that's a communication issue from the front office down. And that's where you can throw in and say, does Chaim understand how a clubhouse works? Who knows? Like right now, it seems like no.
Did you just pause because you asked yourself a question?
Yes, and I knew the subreddit was going to give me shit.
That's the first time I noticed it, though. I'll be honest.
I'm sorry, guys. Subreddit, please spare me. The 3 or 4 people that can't get over it, I apologize. But like that's the stuff that has stood out over this time, and I look at it, it's like it's when you're fighting with someone or you have an issue with someone. Sure, plenty of big things you bottle up over that time. And then one day they accidentally like step on your shoe or they do something a little like a small thing and you blow up. That's what you're watching. You're watching a bunch of guys that are frustrated and now there's nothing really to play for. They've lost Christian Vasquez. Now their best friend in the clubhouse that everybody loves, he's gone. And I think that's where you see it leak out a bit. And that's where you kind of got to manage things down the stretch here. You know, some people are like, well, you have Abraham Almonte on the roster. Well, you're playing the balancing game here, right? Like, do you want a functioning roster or is it important to keep Kevin Plawecki on the roster? I think that's a conversation to be had. Do I really think it matters to have another left-handed guy on the bench right now? Probably not. I'd rather have someone who can keep Reese McGuire and, you know, kind of get him where he needs to be along with Connor Wong and be that veteran. And really in a time where there's obviously clubhouse issues going on, someone who can be the mediator in that way. But that, you know, at the end of the day, listen, I understand the frustration too, but the Red Sox are where they are. It feels like another situation that just wasn't whatever that communication issue. It's continuing to bleed through and you can't have that. You can't have that kind of disconnect with veterans because you have what you had all this year where every couple of weeks we're talking about it in the media and things are getting out.
After that rant, I need to come down with some CBDMD, Tyler.
I think you do too. You look a little tense.
I'm very tense. Thank God that CBDMD is actually, they're the leaders in hemp-based CBD and Delta-9 THC products. These guys have everything you could possibly need to just straight up feel better. And their latest breakthrough is Delta-9 THC. These sneaky innovators found a way to get these Delta-9 THC products shipped directly to your door. Now, some restrictions may apply because of course they do. So check your local laws before purchasing. But I'm telling you, this stuff is the real deal. They've got gummies packed with 10 milligrams of THC, perfect for winding down after watching the Red Sox blow yet another lead, but they didn't today. If 10 milligrams sounds like a lot to you, CBDMD has you covered with their microdose soft gels. With just 1 milligram of THC, these little guys pack a punch that's perfect for all-day support whenever and wherever you need it the most. Don't get all caught up in all the technicalities. This is the same THC that you've come to know and love over the years, just extracted from hemp. I've made it part of my nightly routine. I will probably go and be with the heavy stuff tonight. It's been a weekend. Let's just leave it at that. It has been a weekend for your boy. To learn more about Delta-9 and everything else CBDMD has to offer, just head to cbdmd.com. Once again, that is cbdmd.com for information, education, and the best damn gummies that you've ever had. Must be 21 years or older to purchase Delta-9. Jake, where are you at right now on this Plawecki stuff? Where were you when you heard the news? Are you good with it? What's your overall take? Jake's takes on Plawecki.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously really tough to see. Like, you see all the quotes coming out, and we knew that he was that big of a guy in the clubhouse before even Rich Hill and Eovaldi said stuff like that. But I mean, for me personally, it was Dancing on My Own. Like, just that song, like, it just brings me back. Even when he came up to the plate every at bat this season, like, it just brings me back to that feeling last year of, and he even talked about it, like they were at a point where they're like, all right, we can't lose. We're going to win the World Series. And I'll just always remember like that feeling. So yeah, it's tough.
It is tough. That is tough. It's not what you want. Not happy about it, but life goes on. Life goes on.
And just for people who wanted to, I felt it seemed like a lot of people were crapping on Kevin Plawecki as he went out the door as well. Has this year gone the way he probably wanted it? No, he hasn't hit like he did. The previous 2 seasons, he was everything you could ask out of a backup catcher. He was hitting. He was doing his damn job. He started that wild card game for you with Nate. Like, please, I understand this year has not been good for him, whatever you may say. You can appreciate someone and have respect for the role someone played on a team and in the clubhouse and give that forward. Like all these people on Twitter, like I put out the post with Dancing on My Own. They're like, oh my God, why are you crying over this last guy on the roster? These are the guys that bring groups together. Like that.
What is it with this generation of like young? So Kevin Plawecki.
It's the analytical. It's a lot of the analytical people who strictly look at what's your value on the field. And it's like, if you always manage like that, you wouldn't have David Ross on your team on 2013 as he guides that staff to a World Series.
It's not even that. It's by the way, all right, so here's the stat. 2020 to 2021, Kevin Plawecki hit 305 with a 364 on base and had a 778 OPS. And he was the personal catcher for the ace of the Boston Red Sox. So that's why I don't know. There's something about it's almost like the younger generation of Red Sox fans, which you would expect it to be the other way. They don't have any sentimental value towards players anymore. And like maybe I'm just a fucking pussy, but I've always been that way. Like I've always like when Nomar got traded, I fucking cried. Like I feel like no one, like Red Sox fans don't give a fuck. Like when David Ortiz retired, cried. Like I feel like if Xander fucking signs with the Phillies, you'll have Red Sox, like some of these younger Red Sox going to be like, well, because, his defensive metrics and all this and blah, 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 blah. Like, thank God he left. Like, what? The shortstop of 2 World Series champions, the captain of your fucking team, who still, by the way, is top 10 in wins above replacement in the fucking big leagues right now. Like, there will be some nerdy, like, younger fans that'll be like, well, that was the right decision. Like, thank God he's off the team. What are you talking about? Even if he was like, this is wrong. This is not the case. Even if he was statistically having like a down year, that's not a guy that you want on your team. Like you're going to look out here and what you want Dansby Swanson.
It bothers me when people don't value that side. And I'm as nerdy as it gets, dude. I'm analytics, but I'll always tell you, if you go one way or the other, whether it's too old school or too new school, it's somewhere in the middle, and you got to weigh it. That's why we love Alex Cora. That's the biggest reason, because he gets the analytical side, but he also understands why Kevin Plawecki means so much to a team and why those guys have so much of an impact, because he was one of them. He talked about it today. He was like, I was the last guy on that roster. So I feel like I can put myself in Kevin Plawecki's shoes, and Boston is one of the few places, this fan base as a whole, that can look at that 26 guy and appreciate them and say, all right, I understand how Alex Cora's relationship with Manny and these different things kept guys aligned, kept them where they needed to be when they kind of stepped out. Kevin Plawecki, you could easily see him kind of coaching guys along and showing them how to go about it in the big leagues. Whether it's someone like Christian Arroyo, who never really found his footing here and then seemed like he just became like boys with Kevin Plawecki to the utmost level, or Plawecki taking a guy like Eovaldi to the next level, or Wacha this year. That stuff, it has value in this game today. Now, am I telling you, like, getting rid of Kevin Plawecki right now is something that everyone should be crying or jumping off a bridge for? No, but it points to a bigger overall issue. And I think that's what it is. And you can be sad about this and also understand the baseball reasons. Like, you can do both at the same time. And some people think it has to be one way or the other.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that used to be such a widely practiced thing that, like, it started with Mookie. That's when I started noticing it. Because when John Lester got traded to Oakland and then signed with the Cubs, there was mass hysteria.
Oh, everywhere.
there weren't these like nerdy fans being like, well, his fucking his ex-FIP was this, and so thank God they moved on. Like there just wasn't that. But when Mookie got traded, there was very much like obviously you have like the diehard, like I'm not going to say that no one gave a fuck when Mookie got traded. Like, yes, of course. Well, a lot of people cared. A lot of people still care and will still tweet about it to this day. But there is a corner of the Red Sox community that will tell you to get the fuck over it and be like, well, we have Alex Verdugo now. It's like you can understand why it had to happen and still be sad about it at the same time. And I said that about Mookie Betts. I said that about the whole luxury tax thing. You've got to get under the luxury tax. I can understand why the Red Sox traded Mookie Betts and still be upset that they traded Mookie Betts all at the same time. I can understand why the Red Sox designated Kevin Plawecki for assignment, and I can still be upset that it happened at the same time. Like it's being upset about it is not for a lack of understanding of why it had to happen. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that concept, that being upset about something is a vote against the action. And that's not true.
No, it's not. And I think, like you said, when we watch Mookie and everything, we still tweet his highlights out. We still get hyped watching him succeed. It's because we understood what had to happen there. The reason it's different when we talk about Devers and Bogarts and these guys is the luxury tax isn't the problem anymore. Like this isn't a situation where you went over 2 years in a row. You have no farm system and you can't take the chance of him leaving and just walking away with nothing. That's why we get so upset about this Devers and Bogarts conversation and the way this team's going, is because you have the ability to pay them. You have the ability to keep these guys around now. We shouldn't have to go through this again. And obviously Kevin Plawecki, it's a different tier of player and everything like that. But when you have these fears that veterans are leaving and all this different stuff, it all builds up. It all builds up and it has to go somewhere. You can only fit so much water underneath the bridge. And the reality is the bridge, the water's pushing through. It is. It's pushing through. It's been pushing through for about a year. And here we are. We got a couple weeks left. Plawecki just felt like it added, a whole nother wave to that. And maybe not as much even on the fan base, but inside that clubhouse. And I think that's the biggest story out of everything going on right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
like let's be real. What Nate said today, how do you think the Red Sox front office looks at that?
Do you think that there are people listening that don't know what Nate said and we should read the quote?
Yeah, let's do that. Do you have it in front of you?
I don't.
Let me...
Is there an audio clip of that, or was it?
Yeah, so Bradford had it. He uploaded it on his podcast today.
Is there... Hold on. Did he tweet any of the audio?
I don't believe he did. I think he just tweeted the quote.
Let me see.
I have it right here if you want me to read it.
Yeah, go ahead and read it, because I don't see any. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So on everything that happened with Plawecki here, I understand it's a tough decision, but you want to build a championship around guys like that. That was the main quote a lot of people ran with. It was like, what do you mean you're building a championship around Plawecki? Read the whole quote, please. Guys who are going to do what it takes to win ball games and do whatever they have to do to help the team win. And it felt he was doing that. We had Schwarber last year and Hunter Renfroe and certain guys like that. There are the guys that do the little things right on the field and off the field when you're in the clubhouse. It's hard to find a player who interacts with both pitchers and position players. Sometimes you can be a little divided, but when you have guys like Pla, Renfroe, Schwarber, all those guys were extremely good guys in the clubhouse. I think sometimes that goes a little further than productivity or whatever on the field. To me, that was a very difficult one to lose a guy like him, even where we are in the season in the last few weeks.
Yep.
Those are shots. Nothing. I mean,
it's not like I didn't take it as a fuck you to Chaim. I took it as a, what are we doing here? Like, do you know what you're doing here? Because this didn't start, obviously, like the point has already been made. This didn't start with Kevin Plawecki. This started with the trade deadline. Or maybe it started with last year's trade deadline.
I think that's where, when we first heard for the first time that there were rumblings in that clubhouse and they took place before Schwarber got healthy. We all forget that it took a couple weeks till he got on the field. It started there and it disappeared, and now it only took a year of everything going wrong, and now it's at the top.
Yeah. I think it was one thing after another, and I don't even want to say that this was the straw that broke the camel's back, because it's not like there's a complete revolt going on in the clubhouse right now. But I think that there are a lot of people that are looking around being like, do we know what we're doing? Do we know what we're doing? Because in addition to the Plawecki thing, lost in the shuffle was the Red Sox not even approaching Nathan Eovaldi. And I get you probably want to see him come back. Like, he's been throwing bullpens. You want to see what that looks like. I'm sure he wants to see what that looks like going into free agency. He has said he wants to be here. And, we've made the point multiple times. This is a guy that I don't necessarily see him being a take the best offer out there guy. I see him being I want to go where I want to go. And I'm going to take same thing as Xander. Like, I know what I'm worth and I want a competitive offer, but I feel like he wants to be here. And I don't want the Red Sox to become an organization that you don't want to like take advantage of guys like that. You don't want to become the organization where it's like, yeah, like we are going to, we know that you want to be here. So let's throw out something that's way under market value. Like, still pay your guys. It's nice to know that people want to be here. That's great. You should want that. You should want to build a culture that draws more talent here. You want players that are free agents to be like, oh, what's going on over there? That's what happened in 2003, 2004. All the players, all the best players in the league were like, what the fuck's going on over there? This is awesome. I want to be a part of that. And all the best players either pick the Red Sox or the Yankees. And that's what happened for a fucking little bit.
I think that's a scary thing going on right now, because anyone who's watching what's happening here, you have to feel the complete opposite about wanting to sign here right now. And maybe that changes over an offseason where you bring a couple different pieces, the core looks different. But look at how the leaders are talking on this team, how they're going out there, whether it's Xander, it's JD, it's Nate, and a lot of these guys probably won't be here come the offseason once things get moving. But if I'm a free agent and I'm looking to settle down or take a chance somewhere, are you going to take a chance on a place where this is how the leaders and the veterans on the team felt? No, it's a bad look. It's a bad look all the way around. If you paid Bogarts and you get that done out of the way early, maybe that changes things. But I don't think this is a good look for anybody. I really do. I really don't. And that's what scares me the most here, is that when we get into the offseason, this is the last thing people are thinking about. Like, remember the last 2 months of the season where the Red Sox, core leadership group basically was calling out the front office. And I think they have their reasons to. I don't think they're unjustified. But that's where they were. Like, is that a team you really want to take a leap of faith and go to right now?
So I think kind of where I am on all this is, call me an idiot if you want. I don't want to say cautiously optimistic. I'm still in wait and see mode. Like, I have not made a determination of what the Red Sox are and where they're going. I feel like this is the biggest and most important offseason of Chaim Bloom's career. I think that that's fair to say, but I'm not going into this offseason being like, yeah, it's just going to be more of the same bullshit. They're just going to be interested in a bunch of fucking complimentary players. And I don't see them in the mix on any big names. I don't see them making any blockbuster trades. I don't see them handing out any monster contracts. I don't feel that way. But I do think that this offseason is probably my last shot. Like, if you don't make a big trade for a starting pitcher, because you haven't reached out to Nate yet. So if you don't have Nate, you don't have Wacha. What do you have? You have fucking a number 4 or 5. Like, no disrespect to Bayo, but we've got to see it over. Like, I've loved what we've seen from Bayo so far, but he should be coming into spring training the number 5 starter, number 4 starter. Maybe if you want to bump down Nick Pivetta, whatever. Like, those 2 are your 4 and 5. Fill in the rest for me. I don't know who the fuck those guys are. So if you go through this offseason and Xander Bogaerts is a Philadelphia Philly, and Rafael Devers comes to spring training without an extension, and Aaron Judge is a New York Met, then yeah, I'm out. Like I feel like that would make me out, because we've had enough time for the whole wait and see. Like I love the fact that, you know, the Red Sox farm system was considered a barren wasteland when Chaim Bloom showed up. It's no longer the case, but I don't give a fuck. I don't. Like, the Red Sox won a World Series with a shitty farm system because they used that to trade for legit pieces who came in here and helped win a title. I care about World Series titles. I don't give a fuck about the Baseball America rankings of your prospect farm. I don't give a shit. I don't. I really don't. So, and that's not to say that all prospects are expendable, of course. But what Maz says every fucking week with me, you have to identify your top 3 guys that are your untouchables. And, you know, the Red Sox have built championships on prospects. They have, like Rafael Devers. Look at that guy. Came in the system when he was 16. Xander Bogaerts, same thing. He was a fucking teenager. So you have to identify your guys and you go from there. But I mean, Chaim Bloom has not made a blockbuster trade since coming here, at least not to benefit the Red Sox. Like he's made some nice trades. I think that at the time we didn't see it. You know, the Nick Pivetta fucking Brandon Workman for Heath Hembry trade or whatever the fuck it was. What was it? It was Nick Pivetta for Brandon Workman and Heath Hembry.
Heath Hembry, yeah.
Yeah, like that ended up being nice. But no one was like, fuck yeah, when that went down. Schwarber, everyone was like, okay, but he's injured. And he ended up being really good. But I'm talking like trading for a cost-controlled guy that's going to come in here and be here. Don't tell me Alex Verdugo. Because as much as I love Verdugo, and I'm happy he's on this team, he's not worth Mookie Betts. No. And don't talk to me about fucking Jeter Downs and Connor Wong, who's going to be your starting. Connor Wong might be a nice little catcher. He might be. If you put his value and Alex Verdugo's value together, is he worth Mookie Betts? No, he's not. I can still like the two players. I can still like them. I can still hate that they were the return for Mookie Betts. So I got to see it. And this is the offseason where I have to see it. I will lose my patience. And by the way, I'm one of the more patient guys here. I'm one of the more patient ones. There are already Fire Bloom people out there. Lots of them.
Let's call that the majority. Let's be real.
I think it's.
I think the majority of fans would like a change in the front office at this point. At least think that's my feel.
This is the comp. And I don't necessarily want to make this comp. It's not perfect, but it kind of applies. I don't want to compare the people. Let's put it that way. I want to compare the situations. Does that make sense?
Okay.
The Fire Bloom people are very vocal, and the support Bloom people are keeping it to themselves a little bit. And I'm not going to make the comparison that I was going to make, but you can probably comparing it to like politics.
Okay. All right. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. So I feel like it seems like the majority is Fire Bloom, but I feel like it's a lot closer to 50-50, or there are probably a lot more people that are supporters or at least want to give him more of a chance, or they believe in there being a plan. But the Fire Bloom people are very loud, very passionate, and they want this guy gone. So I'm not in that camp. I told you where I am. I got to see it this offseason. If I come to spring training and Rafael Devers does not have a contract and Xander Bogaerts is on another team and so is Aaron Judge, and there hasn't been some sort of trade made to bring, because you're not going to sign Jacob deGrom or whatever fucking Carlos Rodon, like you're not signing those guys, right? If you're not bringing in like a frontline starting pitcher, I am going to fucking lose it. And by it, I mean you are losing my support. You're losing my support.
I think that's the right spot to be in, because the Red Sox have kicked down the road. We talked about at the trade deadline about going to get that cost-controlled guy. I weeped and cried about Sean Murphy. We did that all back then.
You almost made it a whole episode without saying Sean Murphy.
We're going to do it at least once an episode. But I'll be real. I could be fine with Reese McGuire and Connor Wong next year as long as you get the rest of the roster where it is.
I have no complaints about the catching tandem. I really don't.
But like just crunching numbers, like recently, I've been spending a lot of time on the Red Sox payroll kind of spreadsheet. If you take out Paxton and they don't end up picking up his 2-year option for $13 million apiece, they have about $83 million before getting to the actual luxury tax. Now, I think, Jared, based off the way you're talking, you fully expect and want them going over that luxury tax next year.
Yeah. I mean, what did I see the other day? They have a fucking $125 million to spend.
That was so Boston Strong tweeted that out, and Red Sox payroll got in there and cleaned it up.
I was gonna say that's way too much.
Yeah, it's and that's including if Bogarts opts out. It's $83 million,
which was he was getting like what 20 per.
Yeah, 20 per.
Yeah.
And that just takes out, Paxton's money and everything. So picture it's 70 if they pick up Paxton's options or whatever it may be. There's real money to spend. And I think going into next year, if we're talking about Chaim Bloom's job being on the hot seat to some degree, if they're pushing over the luxury tax, then you really start to get it. Say they're willing to go 20 or 30 million over. We're talking about $100 million in terms of stuff. So if you can't make those assets work, then no, you can't handle a big market. Then we realize, all right, well, you've gotten the David Price money, even though it's half, it's finally fully off the books. JD Martinez, we know the Red Sox had their fingers crossed hoping he was going to opt out the last couple of years. He didn't. That's another $20 million. Get it off the damn books. You know what I mean? Even Nate Eovaldi at this point, I think that will be more money. And I don't feel super good about him coming back. I think it's more likely they're going to flip that money to Wacha at this point. Because based off what you said, Jared, there's a lot of love for him going on in that organization.
Sure is.
Right now. And understandably, and I'll be real, reading that Eovaldi's velocity still isn't back, I'm starting to go over to that side as well. Because if the velocity is not going to be there anymore, then it is what it is. But it's identifying those prospects. Jared, I'll disagree. I do think the farm system is extremely important. I think if you hope to be sustainable over a long period of time, you need to have a strong farm system. You can't bottom out like you did in 2018. Because then you get into the position where when you eventually hit that luxury tax wall after 2 years, where you have to panic and make those hard decisions. What the Dodgers were so great at, over the last 10 years or so is consistently funneling in new talent again and again. But you do have to pick the right prospects.
Yeah,
and that's
we're
where
not the Dodgers. That's what you want to be. Like that's what you need to try in for to be the next Andrew Friedman.
And if he can't do that, then he needs to get out because then he failed his mission. Like if you're going to pull from that brain trust, that Tampa brain trust, and combine it with the big market, that's the way to do it. If you can't do it, it's going to be somebody else. Because you're seeing those other minds across the game in Houston, especially, really start to get to that point where they're getting, closer to what the Red Sox are hoping to do, where they have that talent flow and maybe not spending money to the level that, the Dodgers or the Red Sox are, but you can see the vision. The Red Sox need to learn to trade those right prospects because we're sitting here. Bobby Delbeck, great. He's hit 2 homers back-to-back games down in AAA. You missed your window. Jarren Duran, another guy you bet on.
I don't think they missed their window.
With Bob, it will never be as high as it was going into this year.
But I don't think that he's worthless, especially if he's doing what he's doing right now, which is it's not. So I get the easy joke is to say, yeah, he's a 4A player. Of course, if you send him down to AAA, he's going to crush. I think it's just a matter of like getting consistent playing time and just knowing like here's your role. Like you're going to play every day. You're going to play this position and not being like, because I mean, I know there were days where, he was told that he was going to get more playing time and it just didn't come. And that's crushing to your confidence. Like a lot of these big league guys, especially, Bob played for fucking Team USA and he was a standout at Arizona. They haven't experienced failure and everyone handles failure a lot differently. And for a guy like him, he knows what it takes to make him tick. And for him, consistency is a very big part of that. So I get the easy joke to make is, well, he's in AAA now. Of course, that's why he's hitting home runs left and right. Well, I'll counter that and say, well, he's getting consistent playing time. And that's one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason why he's playing as well as he is down there.
And I'll also add, Bob never really had time in AAA. Like people forget this. He got a little bit of a taste there in 2019 and then 2020 happened. Had a great ATS. He was over there and then he was called up. That was it. Bob did not get a lot of seasoning over there to really get what he needed to underneath his belt. But I think at the same time, like, I like Bob, I really do. But how much value does he have in deals? I think it's more than Jarren Duran. But is it anything significant or what it could have got you heading into this year? No. And I think that's where you go and you question, all right, a guy like him, a guy like Jarren Duran, maybe, you know, Josh Winkowski you dealt for and brought in, you know, you got to pick the right guys to keep around and kind of deal some of these assets before they deteriorate on you and you get caught in a bad spot. Do I think Winkowski's at the point of deteriorating? No. Duran's close. Dalbec is getting there as well. It's just balancing. You need to know when to pick those right guys. And I think that's why Chaim going into this offseason, like, protect your guys, understand what you need to do, but you also need to start being more aggressive. You need to have some conviction. There's no more kicking the can down the road. Because if you kick it down any farther, you're not going to find that can. You're going to be sitting on the road next to that can.
Well, pretty simple. Almost as simple as having Athletic Greens every day. It's been great. I've actually had a lot of people reach out to me saying that they gave it a shot because of the podcast. I'm like, hey, you know what? You just did yourself a huge favor, pal. Our next partner has a product that I use literally every day. A lot of you have joined in on this, and I appreciate that. Actually, you know what? You're welcome. I don't know why I'm appreciating you guys. You should be thanking me. The fuck?
Thank you.
Thank you. I started taking AG1 because I wanted to get better gut health and more energy. That's been a big thing for me, is the energy thing. I'm always dragging ass. I'm always just like, how about I try a coffee? How about I try an energy drink? Every time that Jake comes over to my apartment, he's like, do you have any Red Bull? I'm like, yep, I got a whole bunch. I don't have to do that no more because I've been on for a few weeks now and I feel great. So what is it? With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. I'm doing 4 podcasts a week. I'm watching every single game, traveling. I'm in the studio. I'm in the office. Me and Jake were in the DK office on Saturday. We did an MLB Network hit. And my parlay almost hit too. I had Brewers money line, Yelich to get a hit. He had 2 hits, and I had Judge to homer, and he hit 2 today. Didn't hit any on Saturday, so I just missed it. But it's a very busy schedule. Waking up, taking my AG1 gives me the energy that I need to talk and be on and be entertaining on my A game every single day. It's got all my vitamins and minerals I need in one easy scoop serving. And now that I'm on the road more, I can bring the to-go packs with me for the early wake-up calls. Costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. Supports better sleep, which I need. I'm sure everyone can relate to that, and recovery. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Red Sox. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/Red Sox to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Do we have any thoughts from this Royals series?
Let's see. Let's pull up the Google Doc. In terms of Michael Wacha continuing to be ridiculous. 20 starts this season, 2.61 ERA, 3.51 FIP. I don't know how much more you could ask.
JP one loss?
Yeah, 1 loss. JP Long had a ridiculous stat. It's the 4th lowest ERA for a Red Sox pitcher in their first 20 starts with the team. Number 1 was Chris Sale, 2 was Tim Wakefield, 3 was Aaron Seeley. So 4 is Michael Wacha.
I love Michael Wacha. He's actually super nice. See, you know what? I maybe I'm just making excuses. Maybe I should have made more of an effort to get players on the podcast because I feel like Wacha is definitely a dude that would have came on. Nicest fucking guy. Anytime that he walks by, he'll stop and chat me up. Super polite. Not one of those guys that's he'll ask you questions too. You can tell, there are certain guys that when you talk to them, they only want to be asked things or they only care to talk about themselves. Wacha, not that guy. Really nice guy.
Yeah, that's special. And you see him, he's in the dugout talking. He's always talking with Cutter. Cutter, I feel talks more than anybody, man. He is everywhere in that dugout. but working with Connor Wong during the offseason, him and Tanner Houck got very close. We know about that as well. So it's like, I understand why the Red Sox would want to keep a guy like that around, especially if you're letting someone like Eovaldi possibly walk. Maybe he can be that, not the leader, but one of those veteran guys that you can lean on during these hard times to kind of bring as all these young arms come through, you can be that bridge for them. And while still being a very effective pitcher at the big league level, why not? And he knows it better than anyone, going from a top prospect to a guy who was barely hanging on to a big league job. And look at him now.
I found out that Houck is my neighbor.
Like, for real?
Yeah.
Oh my. And how did you not know this beforehand?
Because we're both hermits. Like him and his wife are just like, they hunker down. They watch their shows together. They're like big into like cooking shows. So like they just don't go outside, and neither do I. The only time I go outside is like I'll go across and get a coffee or whatever. But other than that, I'll walk to Fenway. So
it seems like you and Tanner had a nice bonding experience.
We did, yeah.
Event.
Yeah. I talked to him. I think that was my first time meeting his wife. She was really nice. But yeah, I literally told them, I was like, you guys have what I want. Like I want, like I would love to be in a relationship where both of you just don't want to go outside. Like my biggest fear is falling in love with a girl and she's like, but I just want to travel. Like I just want to see the world and I want to dance and I want a big wedding with so many people there. Like I would be so happy to just have a wedding with no one there and to just live in my house with this person forever and just like not go anywhere. Like if you want to marry me, travel the world first, if that's something that you really want to do. Because I have no interest in ever leaving the country ever again. I would go to Puerto Rico if Alex Cora asked me to, which he did. I can't remember. I can't remember what year that was. Maybe it was like right before COVID. But yeah, I would do that. I've been to Canada. I don't think that counts. And I would go to the Dominican Republic. I would not leave the country for any reason other than baseball. Let me put it that way. Like, I don't want to like go see like the pyramids. I don't want to go see the Eiffel Tower. I don't give a fuck.
All right.
Great Wall of China. Who gives
Even
a
during
shit?
the off season, you wouldn't be open to it?
Oh.
Interesting. So does it need to be a 162 gal, or can it be someone who is not as deep into the Red Sox as you are?
I mean, like low key, Tyler.
Talk to me.
I've had like relationships or a relationship with a Yankee fan before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it obviously things didn't end where you would hope they would be, but was that a deciding factor in that, or was it other things?
If you love baseball, I don't give a fuck who you root for. I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not opposed to dating a Yankee fan. Like that's not something that I would balk at, I guess. But what I will balk at is someone that wants to travel and see the world. I fuck the world. I don't care about the world. Huh?
You have standards. I like that. You're not asking for anything crazy. You just want someone who's going to be a hermit.
Yes.
That's kind of what I have.
That's exactly what Tanner Houck has. Like, it's so cool. They're like, yeah, like, you know, we don't feel the need to have to like entertain each other. Like we'll just like watch TV. Like, you know, she'll be doing her thing. I'll be doing my thing, but we'll be in the room together. I'm like, yes, that sounds so beautiful. That sounds so beautiful.
I think you can find that. I don't think that's something crazy. Like if I can find that, and shout out to my girlfriend, Martha. She's very good. She lets me watch every single Red Sox game when I'm sitting with her. I'm an iPad kid. I sit there on the iPad. You see me with the Baseball Savant page.
Oh, we've seen what you do with the Baseball Savant.
No, let's be real. No woman ever finds that attractive. She just looks away and she does what she needs to do. And I appreciate that. You need your own version when you're crying after the game, when you're in just rough shape. You know, when you're sitting there after Kevin Plawecki got DFA'd and you're in your feelings, she's not judging you. That's what you want.
I want someone that just gets me. Like, I don't want to have to feel like I'm weird for being a 162 guy. I want someone who is going to embrace that and be like, you know what? He's passionate about something. And he turned his passion into a profession, and that's why I love him. And he doesn't like to go outside, and neither do I. I just like to stay right here on the Rocket compound, and that's it. You know, I got a deck. If you need sunlight, you're not a prisoner here.
No.
If you need sunlight, there's the deck. Go out there. Go for a walk in the Fenway area. You have friends. Go ahead. Actually, I do value my alone time a lot, so. You know,
we
someday
gotta find someone. I feel like people would be willing to try this. I just don't know if it's sustainable.
Alone together is basically what I had with Trent and Robbie in New York. It's just like we weren't dating. They were just my best friends. They still are. Trent has been here. Robbie has not been here, but Trent's been here. Frankie and Trent came by. And those are some of my most fondest memories in New York City, would be just sitting on the couch, watching Bob Ross painting with Trent and Robbie. And we didn't have to talk. We didn't have to entertain each other. We would just order our Taco Bell and our insomnia cookie. And we would just have a grand, it would be like Friday night. Like, oh, like a bunch of people would be like, oh, you want to go out? I'm like, no, I just want to do some alone together time with my pals, Trent and Robbie, the couch crew. That's what we do.
You sound sad.
I'm not sad.
Has there been a hole lately, Jared? Have you been with the Red Sox where they are? Is there some kind of missing thing in you right now that you're looking to fulfill?
You know what it is, Tyler? I'll tell you what it is, right? So, like every year, I'm not anti-relationship. I haven't had the benefit of a relationship in quite some time.
You're 33 now?
33. So here's the deal.
Not young.
I find it extremely difficult. You know what I found out? I'm banned on Hinge. I'm banned.
How?
I don't know. I've never had it before. I downloaded it, and then it said you're banned. Like when I put in my cell phone number, it's like you're banned. So I figure someone probably tried to impersonate me, and then they banned I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm banned. So like I haven't done a dating app since like 2016. I find that to be quite miserable.
You're too big for that at this point.
I
can't
don't know.
I don't think you're going to get normal messages now. This is coming from someone with no clout, but I can't imagine, as a woman scrolling and I see Jared Carrabis, that's going to be a normal interaction.
But it's with guys though. Like if I go to a bar, then it's usually dudes that are like, oh, fuck, like, let's go. And then the girls are like, they see that the guys are getting excited that I'm there. And they're like, what's the deal with this guy? I don't know who the fuck he is, but apparently these people are excited. And like, that's how the conversations with girls would start. It's not because they know they have no fucking idea.
Listen,
there's a lot of 162 girls out there. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of 162 girls out there.
I see some passion on Twitter. I'm not going to lie. Before I came on this podcast, I don't think I had a woman follower. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. And since I've come on, there's some women that have acknowledged,
Yeah.
They've acknowledged me, and I appreciate that. Taken man, but I see it.
I found out, what was it, 2020 maybe? That at Barstool, Section 10 had the second highest female listenership for a male-dominated podcast. Yeah, I believe first was KFC Radio, but for a majority male listened to podcast, Section 10 had the second highest percentage of female listeners. So there's a lot of 162 girls out there. But yeah, I don't necessarily like. I just here's where I'm coming from, Tyler. So during the season, it's very hard to find anyone. You know what I mean? Like I'm not on dating apps. I don't go out much, and if I do go out, I wouldn't even know like where to find anyone. So then the off season comes around, and then it's like you go into the off season. You're like, well, now what? Now I have November, December, January. I have 3 months to try and find someone that you got to have like enough runway, like a plane. You have those 3 months to be like, all right, do you like me? All right, you do like me? All right, let's see if you like me now that it's fucking April. And then, yeah. So if you don't have enough runway, that plane's not going to take off. So there's a lot. What is it called? Cuffing season?
That was a legit thing on my mind. It's cuffing season coming up.
Cuffing season for me, it's 3 months. And if you don't leave yourself enough runway, that plane ain't going to take off. So let's see. Clocks. I don't really have like a biological clock, right? Guys don't. That's a girl thing.
Oh, I think we do.
Eventually, I'll shoot blanks, right? I'd like to have kids someday. You know what? That was like the whole premise of the Nesson shoot with Plawecki we went shooting there. Blanks. No, having like seeing him be a dad and a husband. So he lives in like a cul-de-sac, and the part of his routine is that he'll go to his truck, and then his wife and his kids will wait on the porch for him, and then he'll go around the cul-de-sac, and then he'll wave goodbye to them, and then he'll go off to the yard. And like his son was crying because his dad was leaving, and it was like this whole thing. And I was like, you know what? I want someone to cry for me when I leave. Like that would be nice. Like I want to have like a wife that waves goodbye when I mean, like I'm not really going anywhere. I'll just be here when I go downstairs to do my podcast.
Okay, and
that would be nice.
It probably hits different knowing he's a couple of years younger than you as well.
Yeah, like he's 2 years younger than me, and he has a 4-year-old and a 1.5-year-old.
Okay, so let's use this opportunity. We talked about a runway, right?
Well,
let's lay the pavement right now.
Let's lay the pavement right now.
It is cuffing season, or we're approaching it. Jared is looking for applications. We are looking for people who fit the profile. Jared just painted the picture for all these women out here. Listen, women dig the rocket. We know that, right? That's just the reality of the situation here. You're not going to say it because you're a humble guy, but I'll say
humble guy.
You know,
always have
I'm sitting here. Jake, do chicks dig the rocket?
Yeah, they do, but he won't say it.
Exactly. Thank you. Even Jake's saying it. He told you what he wants. He laid out the expectations. This is a homework assignment with the instructions at the very top. If you fuck up, it's on you. Not you, Jared. It's on the people listening.
Agreed.
He told you what he wanted. Get to work. Homework's due. October 1st, just about here.
Yeah. Well, the postseason is like that's my busiest time of the year. I'm going to be traveling a lot and everything. So really, it is.
So
November.
Let's push it back.
Yeah, let's push it back.
November 1st, ahead of Thanksgiving. You know, November, December, January. Jared needs someone to bring on Christmas. You need a Christmas date.
I want to take someone home to mom by Christmas.
And just for the women who are out there listening, Sandra, we're moved on. We're past that.
We were just friends the whole time.
Some would speculate otherwise. Thank you. Wow. Yeah, that sound effect does kind of hurt my feelings. I get how Pat feels now. But this is what we're looking for. Please, the right woman who understands what Jared needs. I feel like it'd take your podcasting game to another level. I really do.
Yeah. I would feel like I talked about in the interview with Kev. I would feel complete, Tyler. Right now, I'm feeling complete.
I'm sorry we don't fill that hole for you.
No, you do. I feel like the hole would be much bigger without you and Jake. Imagine if I was just doing this podcast by myself, how incomplete I would feel, how lonely I would be.
Then you'd be depending on Pat.
That ain't happening.
We won't let it.
No, we can't let it. I don't really have any fucking thoughts about the fucking Royal Series.
I have one.
What is it?
Franklin Herman. First off, we got the name pronunciation. It was rough. Let's be real. Walk single.
No.
Ugly.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to be hard on yourself for the name pronunciation. So it was Frank German. Then it was Franklin Herman. He said it.
Yeah. Before that, listen, even before that, when he first got here, we called him Frank Herman. Then when he got promoted to AA, Sox Prospects did like a whole podcast on this. They had like the media guide came out that year and it changed the pronunciation for his name. So then we started calling him Frank German. Now he's like, I don't even want to go by Frank. I go by Franklin. and it's Herman. So we're back to where we kind of started. Whatever. Cool. Happy he should be here in the big leagues. Can you argue that Ryan Brazier should have been DFA'd? Sure. He's been pretty good in September, though. It's a 0 ERA and 5 appearances.
How about Almonte?
He's probably the first one, but if we're talking just bullpen, you know what I mean? But Almonte, I understand. Left-handed bat off the bench, whatever. Still, we talked about it earlier. Plawecki, if that's the reason why you're DFAing Plawecki, I think you need better reasons. But yeah, bad, rough outing. Do I care? Hell no. He'll be fine. Stuff was good. Just struggling to locate it. That's it. So let him take his shots right now, whatever it may be. You need answers going into next season. I'm happy he's on this team, and I think there'll be better days ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Wacha was great. The offense was nice today. It was, I mean, if the game meant anything, I think I would have had a lot of takeaways from today's victory in that 20 hits. I think Pham had 4. Reese McGuire, make all the fucking jerk off jokes that you want. He's turning into a nice little pickup for the Red Sox.
Dude's hitting
like
400.
He can go the other way. He's got some pop. He dropped down a fucking bunt on a 3-hit day. Yeah, I think he had a 3-hit day today. He had a 3-hit day with a sack bunt to move runners up to second and third. I believe maybe that was Pham's sack fly that it led to. I can't remember. Pham had 3 RBI today. Bogey had 2 hits. Congrats on career hit number 1400. Rafael Devers, 4 for 6. He's kind of figured it out a little bit. And I don't even think it's figuring it out. I think it's like, he's not in as much pain as he was before. But yeah, no, I think not only, I think who else had 2 out of 3? I wasn't the only person that said 2 out of 3, but I think I even picked the games. Yeah, I said bookend series. So I told you the fucking games they were going to win and picked the 2 out of 3 correctly. This was a nice little series for the Red Sox. They took care of business. It is what it is. The blowout loss wasn't a lot to take from that game. Fucking Boobies was out there doing what he does, throwing 90 poo up there. Crazy. Mike Monaco in the booth. Love it.
If we're going to start handing out ketchup in a minute, he packets to him and you. Please, do you need any more to know what the duo is going forward? Like, if you're Nesson, is it really that hard? Like, that's where I question. Do you need more than Mike Monaco and you going forward? Obviously, you need some pieces that can fill in or do whatever, but is there anyone saying those two shouldn't be the crew?
Nesson.
But you agree. You think that's the duo moving forward?
I'm a big advocate of Mike Monaco, and I think Uke has been great this year. But I don't know that the decision makers are going to go in that direction just yet, if ever. I feel like now's the time that you would go with Mike Monaco, because it's like Eck is retiring. We lost Jerry. You're trying out all these new people in the booth. It would feel like if you're going to make a major change, that going into next year would be the year to do it. And it sounds like they're going to keep doing what they're doing.
Why? For what? Like, do they not have Twitter? Like, have they never scrolled on Twitter for 10 seconds? Like,
I don't know.
When I turned my TV on today and I heard Dave O'Brien, I was visibly upset. Like, I was distraught. I was not okay. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not.
You're not. But it's like it's just how everyone feels. Like, you're not. It's not like an isolated opinion. Like, it's when OB is in the booth for a game, it feels like the teacher's back. Exactly. And then when Mike Monaco's there, it's the fun substitute. It's like, yeah, it's a fun day. Yeah, like we get like, all right, fucking bring out the TV on the wheelie stand. It's Mike Monaco day. And then when OB is back, it's like, all right, take out your textbooks and turn to page 314. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
That's exactly it. And like, you go today, like, it's a game where you score 13 friggin' runs, you got 20 hits, and it's It was cool and all, but like Mike Monaco was almost more fun and electric yesterday, and they lost 9-0. Like I was enjoying Mike Monaco just having fun with Uke and joking around. When I listen to Dave O'Brien, it's just like, all right, like it feels outdated. It feels old, and I don't know. We've had this conversation a million times on here.
Yeah,
if Nesson can't
no
figure out that friggin' Donner
horse,
no.
There's no personal vendetta against Dave O'Brien, at least on my side of things. I've talked to him a couple of times. He's been very nice to me. I don't have a grudge against Dave O'Brien. What I want is more fun and entertainment and passion and excitement in my baseball broadcast. He is a tremendous neutral broadcaster. For national games, he's my first pick. If it's a baseball, if it's like Sunday Night Baseball or whatever fucking MLB Network, like I would pick Dave O'Brien. Great. But for a regional broadcast, I think Mike Monaco is exactly what you're looking for. Like, I don't know what else you would need to hear. Go listen to the Connor Wong first big league homer. You know, I just want someone that gets super excited when the Red Sox do something good. That's what I want. And I don't think that I'm alone in that. So
I look at Mike Monaco the same as I look at Tristan Casas and I look at Brian Bayo. Realize the future, realize the untouchables, and take care of them. Get rid of the extra fat, the things you don't need. If we're going to have fun moving forward, if we're going to have just even getting him in the booth going into next season, it would change the vibes. It would change the vibes for everybody. But I promise you, coming in with Dave O'Brien next year and doing the same thing where you have a moving chair. I hate the moving chair. I hate having different people in there every night. I want to know what I'm looking forward to. That's all I want. I want consistency.
Same. Clark's Ketchup Series MVP?
Weird one. Weird one. But as much as I've crapped on JD Martinez this season, I'm probably giving it to him.
Ooh.
Game-winning hit on Friday. 2 for 4 today. Obviously, one of those hits was a little fluky, but still.
Yeah, that game was fucking weird Friday.
Super weird. But let's be real. I think they had 3 hits that whole game, and he had the biggest one. Who else are you giving it? Like, I like Michael Wacha, but obviously he only pitched one game. If you're looking at for someone who did it throughout the series, I think JD had a hit every single game.
JD.
Oh no, he went 0 for the second game. But I don't know if you're talking like he won a game with his bat, and then he had a good game on Sunday.
2 doubles, right?
Yeah. Is there anyone else that really stands out?
We're going to find out. I'm going to look at this right now. So I'm going to set it as...
Bogart sat Saturday. So, like, kind of takes him out of it.
Did he get lifted today?
Yeah, later in the game.
Kike Hernandez hit 500 in this series.
Ooh. Yeah. 0 for on the Friday, but he walked once.
500 in the series. Played in all 3 games. Had a 1261 OPS. That's got a... Yeah, he led the Red Sox in batting average, on base percentage. He got on base at a 636 clip after getting on base 4 times on Sunday. I don't know. I feel like I might have to vote Kike here. How do you say no to a dude that hit 500 in the series? JD hit 273.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think JD, if I was weighing it, it would be that he won a game, that he gave you the game-winning hit in one of those. Mm-hmm. But Kike, not that the 2 for 3 means nothing on Saturday, but, you know, they lost 9-0. Oh, yes, this is what we need. But goddamn. By the way, bye Kike. He's back. He's healthy. Sunday proved it to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, for the people that are listening right now or watching on YouTube, it's 11:43 at night, and Coley has 2 kids. But so I wasn't expecting an answer tonight. He might call back.
Your call has...
Yep. Oh, I'm Coley. I'm a dad. I have kids. Well, I mean, we do have an odd number of people here. So we can put it to a vote. Are you voting for JD, Tyler?
I don't know. Now I'm taking a step back. You know
JD,
what? I'll stick
for
with
the
JD.
record, JD hit 273 with a 788 OPS in this series.
He won a game for you.
Mm-hmm.
Kike's other 2 hits came in a game that really didn't matter because you lost 9-0. I'm willing to admit I think Kike is probably a better candidate, but since I've shit on JD so much, I'm going to throw him a bone here.
Okay.
I'm giving him a vote.
Okay. Tristan Casas, hitless again in the series.
Not sweating it.
I'm not either. I'm not either. But I mean, it's the plate patience is there. But eventually, after you identify all those pitches out of the strike zone, it'd be nice if you started hitting some baseballs in the strike zone.
Yeah.
But he's a rookie.
That's it.
It's okay. I got no problem. I got no problem with it. I don't care if he gets another hit the rest of the year. I'm still going to be high on the kid. Even though he's a fucking weirdo. He is. He's a fucking weirdo. Like, but I love him. He's our big goof. He's a big goof.
I love a man who's not afraid to be himself.
That's what I'm saying. Like, be unapologetically yourself. And that's Tristan Casas.
It's what Jarren Duran wasn't.
Yeah. He was not himself. And I think that ultimately cost him. Jake, who you got for Clark's Ketchup Series MVP?
So before I cast my vote, I actually have a text from Coley.
Oh, what do you say?
So I was going to send him the link to the show earlier, but he said he's got to pass tonight because he had a wedding last night and he had to drive home early. But he wants it on the record that Plawecki gets ketchup for the series.
Ooh.
Oh.
So with that being said, I mean, JD had a game-winning hit. Devers, I think, had 6 hits in the series. Kike hit 500, but I got to go with Plawecki too.
Wow.
That's the winner. That's 2.
Well, I mean, I could vote for who you voted for. Did you say Kike, Tyler?
No, I was going to give it to JD. I was going to throw a bone. Since
JD
had a game-winning hit.
I mean...
But I'm swayed here.
So I haven't submitted my vote.
You did, but you can take it back.
I didn't. Jake, did I submit my vote?
No, not even close.
Oh, I didn't even come fucking close to it. I just pointed out what Kike did in the series. I did not submit my vote. Did not. That being said, your Clark's Ketchup Series MVP is Kevin Plawecki.
Well deserved.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Does he have one?
No way.
Yeah, I don't think so. He deserves it. He deserves it. All right. Stop and shop, look ahead, and get the fuck out of here.
Let's do it.
It's a 2-gamer. We're off on Monday. We got a 2-game series against the Cincinnati Reds. Brian Bayo versus Nick Lodolo. He's legit, by the way.
Oh, he can ball, man.
Yeah. Michael
You're
Wacha
watching
versus Chase Anderson. Is this the same Chase Anderson that was on the Brewers?
Yep.
Nick Lodolo. He strikes motherfuckers out. The Reds suck, but don't sleep on this dude. He has 7 starts of at least 8+ strikeouts. He has 11 strikeouts in each of his last 2 starts. In September, he's thrown 20 1/3 innings, and he has 31 strikeouts to go along with a 2.21 ERA and, Tyler, a 1.78 FIP.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is
He
gorgeous.
does hit a lot of guys. He's hit 15 batters this year, and he has a hit by pitch in 7 of his last 8 starts. He is a rookie. 77th percentile in expected batting, 76th in expected slugging, 88th in strikeout rate, 72nd in chase rate, 81st in whiff rate. His curveball, disgusting. 149 batting average against, 218 expected slug, and a 45% whiff rate. The Reds are 8-8 when he starts, but that's only because he sucks. Chase Anderson is fucking horrendous this year. He's made 5 appearances with 4 starts with the Reds this year. 1-3, 6.43 ERA, 129 WHIP, 9 strikeouts per 9. His last 2 starts haven't been terrible. 9 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 walks, 8 strikeouts, and 1 homer. He walks a fuck ton of people, 9 walks in his last 3 starts combined. The Reds are 2-3 when he pitches. Tommy Pham, Xander Bogaerts, Alex Verdugo all have an OPS over 1100 against him. Interesting note on Bayo. I don't want to jinx it. This doesn't count. If he does it, this doesn't count. Hasn't given up a home run this year?
Nope.
Okay. What's his FIP?
Brian Bayo?
Yeah, it's got to be. Is it sub 5?
Would you like to hear this?
Please.
It will make you feel things.
275?
275. Well, that's the thing. If you look at his BABIP this season, it's ridiculous. That's why all the people, dude, you go
the
back
Rays
to those
fucking dinky hitted him to death.
Crazy. Those first couple starts, every single grounder that could have gone through, leaked through on him. It was ridiculous. His BABIP this year, just for context here, let's see if I can pull it up. 395 in the big leagues, 300's average. Like, he has had horrendous luck since he got up here. The FIP will tell you. It will tell you the truth when it comes to Brian Bayo, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing. It took a little bit, obviously, for the results to come together, and now that he's cutting down some of the walks, this is it. You're watching Brian Bayo coming up into this game. It's two of the most young premier pitchers in all of baseball. Like, this is a showdown of 2 arms that are going to be at the top of the, charts, and everyone will be talking about for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for Bayo. I mean, that FIP is actually ridiculous. Like, comparative to his actual ERA. And then you got Wacha, 11-1, 261 ERA. This is someone that not should they? Obviously, you want to bring Michael Wacha back. And this, I feel like Chaim doesn't get enough credit for Michael Wacha. They picked him up fast. Like, this was a dude that was a free agent for maybe 3 minutes, and the Red Sox were like, boom. And he didn't have great numbers last year, but he had a really good September, and they obviously identified why and continued with that in Boston. Do you think that he's back next year?
Yeah, it looks like everything's kind of pointing in that direction with him. And I think we go back to the offseason. The Red Sox, when they were looking for that reclamation project, they were looking at Andrew Heaney. That was the other name. Dodgers, the team you're trying to be like, swooped up Andrew Heaney. You got Wacha. Wacha's been, healthy, number one, in comparison to Heaney, but has performed every way you could. I don't think they're going to expect him to be what he is this year. Let's be real. The FIP's like 350, but can he be that number 3 anchor kind of guy?
Yeah.
100%. And he does something that I think very few pitchers do on this staff. They throw strikes. On Friday night, 20 of the 26 batters he faced, he threw strike 1-2. Contact, not scared to go after it. No one's looking at him and asking him to be an ace or live up to what he was as a prospect, but he's a very good mid-rotation starter. And I think that's what you're looking for the Red Sox right now.
It's nice what you got from him this year. It would have been nicer if you got this kind of season from Wacha in a winning season for the team. But like Tyler said, you don't need Michael Wacha to be anything better than a year 3. Like, getting him at a 3.5 would be beautiful. I'll take it. A full run worse than what he was this year. I'll take it. I'll be very happy with it. So, I mean, even if let's just say worst case scenario, let's just say it's a 4. I'll take it. Like, give me like a Rick Porcello type guy. You can take the ball. You can give me innings. Give us a chance to win a baseball game. I know that the idea of pitching 6-7 innings is not a foreign concept to you. I can trust you in certain situations, seeing a lineup for a third time. Yeah, sign me up for that.
I think that Rick Porcello comp is the exact thing that Alex Cora and them have talked about and have missed. And you look at it early in the season, we remember with Michael Wacha, they weren't letting him go beyond like 5 innings. Like they were cutting him at 4 2/3 and 5. Just look at the last 2 months, what he's done. He's gone at least 6 innings in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of his last 7 starts. The only start he didn't was when he went 5 2/3 against Baltimore. So for today's starters, he's working deep into games. I think that's something the Red Sox crave and that they want to give a little help to the bullpen, to have guys who can go deeper. And this year we saw it. Even when they had starters, they weren't going deep enough into games, and that led to the bullpen that was already short getting even shorter.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just they're probably going to throw him a QO. Do they throw him a QO or do they try to lock him up at like 13 over
Both.
3 years or something?
Well, that's a good question. Because I think giving him the qualifying offer maybe deters some teams. Maybe
100%.
So, I mean, maybe you throw him the qualifying offer, but you still try and break him off at a multi-year piece. That's what I would do.
Get
I'd
it
be
done.
happy with that. Same thing with Nate, but I'm sure we'll be having that conversation a lot as the season draws to a close. Yeah. Anything else? Oh yeah, prediction time.
So, part of me feels like there's a Tommy Pham revenge kind of game coming potentially here against his former team. I love Brian Bayo, but obviously the matchup's a little tough there. We don't know the Wednesday starter yet. That's still up in the air, correct?
The Wednesday starter?
Yes. Am I tripping?
That's Wacha.
I thought he was starting the opener against the Yankees.
I don't know. This has Wacha here. So maybe, I don't know.
I thought I read today that it was going to be the other way, but I might be tripping. Let's pull it up. I'm looking at pitching probables. Yeah, they got Wacha slated for the opener against the Yankees as well here with the TBD on Wednesday.
Oh.
I read that in the Globe today as well. So I believe that's where they're at. So are we looking at a bullpen game potentially on Wednesday?
Could be.
Which wouldn't surprise me with the arms they have, the Caleb Orts, the Pizzardos. Can you kind of work your way around? I'm just going to give it, they'll split. I guarantee there'll be one game in here that's extremely frustrating. And, you're going to be in Cincinnati. Maybe you can actually hit some home runs and lift the ball a little bit. But Trevor Story should be coming back on Tuesday. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of a boost as well. I think we see this team continue to be who they are. They'll take one and then lose one in a frustrating way.
I can see that.
They just took 2 out of 3 from the Royals, and as we know anything about this team, they win a series, the next series they disappoint.
Jake?
I mean, we only got a couple more chances at sweeps here the rest of the way, so I'm going to go with a sweep.
Classic sweep. Vintage sweep.
Before you make a pick, Jared, can I influence you?
Please.
At home this year, the Reds are 29-43.
That's not good.
It's very bad.
I'm still going to go split. Imagine if they get swept. That would be wild.
No, it wouldn't. We'd come in here on Wednesday or whatever, be like, yeah, that's about right for this Red Sox team.
Yeah. But I wouldn't, just so that the baseball gods know, I wouldn't care.
Fuck no.
Wouldn't hurt me. So just in case you assholes were thinking about doing it.
I'll take every loss along the way if Tristan Casas can start slugging.
Yeah.
I'll sell out.
Sure. Why not? All right. That does it for this episode. What episode is this, Jake? We're almost at 50?
Yeah, it's 48.
Damn, dude. We're almost at 50 fucking episodes.
God damn.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? We made it. So from episode 48. Was Plawecki the first guest that we've had on the show?
After Matt Barnes.
I don't know if that counts. That wasn't an interview. That was more like a drop-in.
So we'll give Plawecki the title.
Yeah. Like that wasn't an interview. That was an appearance.
Yeah. I think that's the right way to phrase it. We weren't interviewing him. He was on the phone.
Yeah. That was a Matt Barnes appearance. That was a Kevin Plawecki interview.
You got to join the call to be considered an interview. That's our rule.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. All right. Enjoy your off day on Monday. We will see you on Thursday morning. Is there Thursday? We're done with off days, right?
Yeah. So Monday's our last off day, and then it's 16 games in 16 days to end the season.
Jesus Christ. Schedule makers had it out for us the whole time.
I don't know what it is. Well, I do. Part of it's been the cancellations and everything with the lockout this year.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like there is not enough off days on the schedule. I'll just say that. I need more breathers.
Yeah, me too. I'd love to have more breathers. But we get one tomorrow. So enjoy your off day. We'll see you on Thursday.
Buenas noches, amigos.